You never know what you're going to get in a Season 1 matchup, but for Dublin, Jerome, and Westerville South, there is some familiarity as they meet in this season opener tonight. They played each other in the opener last season. Tonight, it's the Celtics and the Cats getting the 2024 season underway as we come to you from Westerville South for Toyota's Friday Night Rivals. Jeff Logan, Marty Bannister. We'll hear from Kellyanne Stitz coming up in a couple of moments. An intriguing matchup to get things started tonight, Jeff.
Yeah, very intriguing, but I'm going to tell you what, neither of these teams very proud of what happened last year. They didn't have great seasons, but they never quit on their football coaches. They didn't quit on their team. So this is a fresh start. They've been building towards this night for the last 9 months. Let's see what's going to happen.
For Jerome, a very un-Celtic-like 3-8 last season. Kind of turned the program a different shade of green. But for head coach Brett Glass, the turnaround this year starts with a pretty good quarterback in Nolan Peoples.
Yeah, you always worry about giving the keys to the car to a new starter at quarterback. But this young man got one opportunity last year, went out and threw 5 touchdown passes. So I think there's a great upside for Nolan Peoples.
For Westerville South, Eric Callen comes to the program. No stranger to the Ville, though. He was an assistant here. He played here, graduated in 2003, and he inherits a program and has a pretty good one in Tyler Kilmeyer.
I don't think there's a team in Central Ohio that wouldn't have this kid as their number 1 player on their roster. He's terrific, 6'7", 265, plays tight end, plays linebacker. He'll be a Northwestern Wildcat next year, same as the Wildcats here, but he'll take that 4.6 GPA with him right to Northwestern.
It's time for high school football in Central Ohio, and we're glad you're with us tonight. It's the Celtics and Cats, and it's next on Toyota's Friday Night Rivals. Dublin, Jerome, Westerville South getting the 2024 season underway. Tonight's coin toss is sponsored by Hilliard Lawn and Garden. They are the proud sponsor of tonight's coin toss. Dublin, Jerome, and Westerville South meeting in the season opener. Jerome won the toss and has elected to defer, so the Westerville South Wildcats will get the football to start tonight in this season and home opener for the Wildcats. Third member of our broadcast crew, always good to say hello to Kellyanne Stitz.
Hey there, Marty. I spoke with Dublin Jerome head coach Brett Glass, and he said that last season left a sour taste in everybody's mouths, and they would like to taste sweet victory this year. So his team hit the weight room in the offseason, and they really transformed their bodies in the last 9 months. Coach Glass also told me the guys that he has returning never quit last season, even amid a 7-game losing streak. So they're hoping to take that fighting spirit from last season into this year to really turn things around starting tonight.
All right, Kellyanne, thank you. We look forward to hearing from you as the evening rolls along. Jamari Alston, one of the deep backs for Westerville South, and also Isaac Patterson, and a pretty good one will kick the football away for Dublin Jerome, a guy they have very high hopes on this season. That's Luca Licata getting set to boot the ball away. Jeff Fogan, and good to see you again too, my friend. Good to be back with you. There's something about being 3-8 for a program that's used to winning and trying to turn it around. It's a bad taste.
Yeah, this is not a usual thing for either of these football teams, and the quicker they can flush last season, the better. And the way to get it started is right here with a big drive for Westerville South. Isaac
Patterson fields the kick, middle of the field, comes out to the 20, angles to the near side, and is thrown down shy of the near side sideline. Westerville South coming off a 7-5 year last year under the guidance of Matthew Christ, but he gave up the coaching position right after the first of the year, and Eric Allen, who had been the defensive coordinator, is now the head coach. There is a good feeling in this program with Eric Allen here, and initially we have a holding call against the return team, Westerville South, so that will push back the return and set the Wildcats up on offense. They've got a pretty good one at quarterback, Evan Andrews, Jeff Logan, a guy that they're very high on.
Yeah, they think a lot of this kid, and he had to sit back a year ago, didn't get opportunities, but he did learn in the system what they're all about. Now, with the coaching change, and we'll talk a little bit about that, with Eric Callen taking over, he's been at Westerville South for a number of years, but got the head coaching job after former head coach Matt Christ resigned after 7 seasons here. He's a defensive guy, but they brought in an entire new offensive staff.
Evan Andrews only threw 13 passes last year for 75 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and ran the ball 8 times for 39 yards, and he'll throw right away. First play from scrimmage of the 2024 season, a little flare to the far side, and it's Ian Gordon, the 5'9", 185-pound sophomore with the catch, and the short gain on first down and 10. The line of scrimmage was the 18-yard line. Let's check that Westerville South offense for you. There you see, we talked about Tyler Kilmeyer at that tight end. They will also line him up as an H-back a lot of times. You can see him already in that H-back position when they come to the line of scrimmage. He can do a number of different things for them on offense. Good size on that offensive line led by center Xavier Flemister. Gotta love that name. The big X right in the middle of the field, Xavier Flemister. First down and 10. Then this carry here brings up the second down call for Westerville South. Again, Evan Andrews, the 6', 160-pound sophomore quarterback. Little touch toss pass. There's another flag down and trying to get to the outside and accelerate ahead, but being dropped after a couple of steps on the quick gain was Jaleel Armstrong. Let's see what the flag is all about here. It is a procedure call against the offense.
Took a long time for that play to get called into the quarterback.
With illegal formation on the offense, 5 yards from the previous spot, replay second down.
And that penalty flag sponsored by the United States Army, so that'll push back Westerville South. And first game, first possession, not unaccustomed to see things like that, Jeff.
No, not surprised. And 2 penalties, though, here in the opening drive. Not exactly what the coaches had lined up. But again, this is a nervous moment for a lot of these young men. We've talked about Evan Andrews getting his first start there at the quarterback spot, but there are a number of other guys getting their first opportunity here in Friday Night Rivals.
And a little bit of confusion from the line of scrimmage, and now Westerville South set. Comfortable conditions, 79 degrees. The humidity's back in Central Ohio. Here's a handoff and working to the right side. Again, another short gain for Westerville South. The football in the hands again of Ian Gordon. Ian Gordon, the 5'9", 185-pound sophomore, will be running up against this Dublin Jerome defense, and it's a very good one as well, too. Matthew Atwood has a number of Division III offers. Denison, Wittenberg, Ohio Northern, Capital, all interested in that young man's play. And a guy who has really stepped up this preseason and into game number 1, Mateo Karam at that strong safety spot. A guy that head coach Brett Glass very, very high on. Third down upcoming. We're a couple of minutes into the opener. Andrews rolls, throws, and bounces the pass at the feet of Hassan Kaba, who was in the flat near side just across the 30, and we'll get our first punt of the night.
Yeah, if you're rolling into that side, you're a right-handed quarterback, you're throwing across your body, you got to make sure you set your feet or the ball's going to end up in the dirt. It's like a shortstop, Marty, picking up that ground ball. You got to step into it to make sure you deliver the ball because you got so much less coming from the arm because you're a right-hander moving to the left side.
Ethan Rosen on to kick the football away for Westerville South. He'll do all of the kicking for the Wildcats. Dom Seward back to return the punt. Very high end-over-end kick that will hit a Westerville South player, then angle out of bounds, and Dublin Jerome will start with very good field position for their initial drive of this 2024 season. Head coach Brett Glass and his offense will come onto the field, led by Nolan Peoples, the 5'11", 180-pound junior quarterback who played and started one game last year. And, Jeff, just for good measure, he showed the folks at Dublin Jerome what his future was going to be like. One game, one start, he throws 5 touchdown passes.
Yeah, and it wasn't against a team that wasn't very good. It was against Hilliard Bradley, which was a state semifinalist a year ago. And Nolan Peoples has got quite an upside, as we mentioned in the open here. They are a pass-first football team. Let's see what they do when they come out on the first play.
Spread formation. They'll hand the football off inside. First catch or first carry of the night goes to Joey Slates. The junior running back gets near the midfield stripe. Another one of those 5'9", 195-poundish running backs as we look at this Dublin Jerome offense. Jack Kaczerski at that wideout spot. Keep an eye on number 81, a 6'2", 185-pound sophomore. If that last name is familiar, his dad played at Ohio State back in the 90s. His brother Cade was a walk-on at Ohio State, but a lot of people are interested in this sophomore for his receiving ability, already getting a number of Division I looks. Jack Kaczerski, number 81. And he is flanked to the near side. Good look there at Nolan Peoples, 5'11", 180-pound junior. Again, a little quick toss. As coming in motion was Lucas Franks. And we have another penalty flag.
Part of the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, still second down.
And again, that penalty flag sponsored by the United States Army. That's our referee, Paul Vaser. And tonight and this season, 6 officials on high school football games. Paul Balthaser, the referee tonight. And that pushes Jerome back, brings up a second down and 12 for the Celtics. Both these schools members of the Ohio Capital Conference. Jerome in the Capital Division. Back to throw is Peoples, and a good toss and a good catch just into Westerville South territory. Stretching out was Ethan Price, the 6', 185-pound senior. 15 catches last year, a good catch right there, and a well-thrown ball by Nolan Peoples.
Boy, talk about having a range of being able to catch the football. This is a great job going across his body, getting both hands on the ball, tucking it in, and putting Jerome in a doable position on third down and about 5.
Picked up 7. Price able to lay out for that ball. Pass had a lot of zip to it. I was talking about Joey Slates, the 5'9", 195-pound senior. All those running backs, Jeff Logan, are in that area you like, that 5'8", 5'7", 195-pound, low-to-the-ground style runner.
Yeah, he's a slasher. They get him inside. He's got pass protection there, and he's going to get called for holding. And this one is coming back.
As Peoples sends it way downfield. Matty Giantonio made the catch, but this is coming back. It is holding against the offense.
Boy, we just get that moment to talk about Joey Slates a little bit, concentrate on number 23, and he really had his hands full because he had 2 blitzers coming in, and he did everything he could to protect his quarterback. Unfortunately, he did it with his arms around a couple of those guys.
23 of the offense, 10 yards from the previous spot, replay third down.
And that wipes out what would have been a 1st and goal for Dublin Jerome, but it is worth getting another look at here, the throw by Peoples.
Yeah, on target and on time, and there's a good throw. And we talked about Matty Giantonio, the guy that got free down the middle. Really a good target, and here you see 13, quarterback Nolan Peoples, trying to get another touchdown pass. Seems like that's his gig.
Boy, Giantonio, too, ran right past the defensive back, Jamari Alston, on that play, and he was wide open and a good throw, but it's all for naught. Ball pushed back to the 42-yard line, and Jerome will scrimmage there. Celtics coming off a 3-8 season last year.
You would have think neither of these teams had scrimmaged. They're each of the teams.
Snap, full start. Offense, 5 yards, still third down.
All right, that's 2 apiece for both sides. That's enough of those tonight, right?
We've reached our quota here, quarter number 1. Here's the Westerville South defense. London Vickroy at one of those end spots, 6'4", 205-pound junior, a three-sport standout, football, track and field, also a member of that South basketball team. John Lois at one of the defensive back spots is a guy as well, too, that they like a lot back there. And David Guyabang, a 5'9", 145-pound senior. Gives them good minutes at one of those defensive back spots. So it's now 3rd and 20 for Jerome as they scrimmage, as you look at your screen, from left to right. And that pass dropped, a little turn-in route. That was Ethan Price, who was open. Ball hit him right in the worst place possible, Jeff, right in the hands.
Well, that's a dangerous ball to throw right over the middle, and the receiver has a hard time concentrating on the football when he knows there's going to be a linebacker or a corner coming up to cover you. But not a very successful opening drive for either of the football teams tonight.
Just get it out of the way, right? These couple of bad drives to get things started.
Let's hope so.
Luca Licata on to punt the football away. Much like Ethan Rosen for Westerville South, Licata will do all of their kicking. End over end boot, that will take a awkward roll, and Jerome will down it at the 38-yard line. 7:10 to go, quarter number 1. The season opener on Friday Night Rivals is scoreless.
It's Toyota's national sales event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddleboarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or tubing with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all summer long.
Lease a stylish new 24 Corolla for $239 a month. Get the all-new, all-hybrid Camry with 5.25 APR financing, or lease this Camry for $319 a month.
Come in today. Ooh, like
Toyota, let's go places.
Westerville South scrimmaging from their own 38. Little toss sweep to the outside and some running room as angling towards the far side as a flag comes in from behind the play. That was Hassan Kaba taking that and working to the outside.
Ian Gordon on the carry.
Check it, that was Ian Gordon, the 5'9", 185-pound sophomore.
On Dublin Jerome. They're first of the game.
Dublin Jerome.
Kaba leading the way on that toss to the far side. Gordon last year ran for 349 yards, 4 touchdowns, went over the 100-yard mark one time. Last year they had a very talented running back, Nasir Phillips, who ran for almost 1,600 yards. He's now carrying the football for Kelly Cummings at Ohio Dominican. And he is brought down in the backfield. Great penetration that time, racing in Kwame Bosley, the 5'11", 200-pound junior defensive tackle. Big play right there for Bosley in the Jerome defense.
Boy, good pressure right up the middle and a great read. And we had Bosley wearing number 53 is what I had earlier, but 41 is that number. Kwame, a really good football player.
Andrews will roll to throw. Still rolling. Angles for the far sideline and is shoved out of bounds far side by D'Angelo Nardone, 6', 210-pound junior linebacker, able to stay lateral with the Westerville South quarterback and bring him down before he could turn it back upfield, and a quick 3 and out for Westerville South, and that'll bring the punt team right back onto the field.
Boy, just nowhere to go. It's a RPO, run-pass option, and there wasn't any run. There was no pass, therefore no option other than to bail out.
High snap pulled down by Rosen, and a low end-over-end kick that will take a nice roll. Boy, sometimes things start out very poorly and end up very good for you. Look at that roll, wobbling inside the 5 to the 3, and Rosen got a heck of a roll on that one, and a big break right there after a high snap. Let's check our keys to the game to tonight's matchup, sponsored by Toyota. For Westerville South, Jeff Logan, be ready for anything. Season opener, you just don't know sometimes what you're going to get out of an opponent. And for Westerville South, as they know facing Westerville South, that's where they're at in this game. Just got to be ready.
Well, and sometimes that key, that fast start, if you're Westerville South, may have to come from the kicking team, your special teams. And part of a fast start is putting your defense in a position to make a play. Now, if you want to capitalize on this, they got to force 3 and out.
That Westerville South key to the game. They played very well in the second half of their scrimmage against a very good Bishop Hartley football team. And Eric Cowan talked about how they played so well in that second half of that scrimmage, and he's hoping it would carry over to tonight's season opener. This first down call sponsored by Buckeye State Bank. Halfway through quarter number 1, scoreless football in our season opener. Got a great schedule of games for you. Next week we'll see Upper Arlington and Olentangy Berlin, and then in a couple of weeks we get another taste of the Battle of Pickerington.
Couple of big games going on for the Pickerington teams tonight.
That North St. Edward game taking place, I think a lot of eyes will be on that one. Rolling to throw is Peoples and fires almost a pick six right there. Nice job of jumping the route, but just unable to pull in that throw to the far side of the field for that Westerville South defense. Racing up was David Guyabang. And that was a touchdown in the making right there, but he just could not hang on to the ball.
Really good job breaking on the football. You can see here how he read the quarterback's eyes, stepped right in front of the receiver. Jack Kaczerski was the intended receiver there, and nearly a pick six for number 2, David Guyabang. And this is the first real pressure that this young man at quarterback, Nolan Peoples, has had.
It's a 3rd down and 8 from their own 3-yard line, and Peoples into the end zone now. And again, we'll just heave it long over the middle of the field. And again, has a receiver. This is Giantonio, who's open, and he's on the run. 35 of South, 30, 20. It's a foot race to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and he will hit the pylon and go into the end zone. Will he? Yes, touchdown. Touchdown, Dublin Jerome, 97 yards on the Ramos Roofing touchdown for Dublin Jerome. A cannon shot early in this game for the Dublin Jerome Celtics. What a throw by Peoples, and then the rest was done by Matty Giantonio.
Yeah, really good throw, good route. The free safety got nosy, started looking up inside for the run play, and had no support over the top. And this is unforgivable to allow anybody behind you in this situation. And you can see it's just freewheeling for Matty Giantonio. The 6'1", 185 junior goes 97 for a touchdown.
And Dublin Jerome strikes first. The Celtics lead 7-0 as Nolan Peoples and Matty Giantonio combined for 97 yards and a score. 7-0 Dublin Jerome early on.
Kicking off for Dublin Jerome's number 83, Luca Licata. Back deep for the Wildcats is Isaac Patterson and Jaleel Armstrong.
Seven 0 Dublin Jerome on the Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. 97 yards, Nolan Peoples to Matty Giantonio.
He's got some magic, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, from a quarterback standpoint, you look at this kid's stats. 5 touchdowns last year in one game, and he gets a 97-yarder here in the first quarter.
An impressive catch and run by Giantonio as well, too, as he hauled that pass in. This is Isaac Patterson fielding the kick for Westerville South. He's trying to find some running room. Getting to the near side, a flag is in. And in fact, 2 flags are down. One is in the middle of the field and one near the sideline, right about the 30-yard line. This will wipe out the return.
Pair of holding calls going against Westerville South. It's great field position, but it's going to come back.
Holding number 50 of the return team. That penalty is declined.
Holding, yes.
Holding number 27 of the return team. Penalized 10 yards in that spot of the foul. We'll have 1st and 10.
I want you to watch again this touchdown, and we're going to get a free safety shot. Top side of your picture. Stop it right there. There's the free safety now wheeled around. Not the first guy closest to the receiver, but the second guy. He's the one that had the responsibility of not letting anybody get behind you, and he got nosy up front. And it's all over after that. Put the dog in the truck. The hunt is over.
Andrews to throw quickly. Kilmeyer with his first target tonight and unable to hang on to that pass, which was a little low, about waist high. Unable to bring that pass in. On coverage was Charlie Culp, a 6', 160-pound senior. When we were talking to Brett Glass prior to the game, the Dublin Jerome head coach, I think there's kind of a quiet confidence about him with this football team. I think he feels they're going to be a little bit better than I think a lot of people may think they will be. And if Nolan Peoples can continue to do some of the things he's done early on, that's a good feeling to have about his football team. And here the defense comes up with a big play, is trying to find some running room, but gobbled up was D'Angelo Nardone in on the stop. He was able to shoot the gap that time, and 110 greeted the other 10.
Watch the pressure here from the end zone camera, and you can see unblocked right up the middle. That's a pretty good job by the defense. You know, Kellyanne Stitz was talking at the very beginning about that 7-game losing streak. But, Marty, you and I looked at those scores. They didn't lose by much,
No,
Jerome.
they didn't. 4 of those were by 7 or fewer points. Here's a incomplete pass to the far side. Andrews rolling and trying to hook up far side. And the pass sails high and out of bounds. And again, Westerville South will go 3 and out and give the football right back to Dublin Jerome at the 4.5-minute mark, with Jerome on top 7-0.
Back deep for Dublin Jerome, number 1, Dom Seward.
Eric Calland,
And back to kick.
a Westerville South grad, played here
37, Ethan Rosen.
and has been an assistant coach since 2015. Rosen on to punt the football away again. Good spiraling kick that will be fielded on the run by Dom Seward. And a good open field tackle by Westerville South as racing up to make the play for the Wildcats. That was a good job right there of getting through, was Devin Eby. Eby with the stop for Westerville South. We'd like to thank Kroger Great Lakes Distribution Center. Tonight's game is being streamed live on ABC6 YouTube's channel, by the ABC6 News app, and on the CWColumbus.com. Kroger Great Lakes Distribution Center. You can watch this game anywhere on a number of different ways. You can see and hear Jeff Logan to your heart's delight.
Careful what you ask for. Great field position here for the Celtics. Just think of where they were a moment ago. 3 yards off the goal line.
Dylan Setiati with his first touch of the night. 5'8", 175-pound junior. Brett Glass saying they'll utilize both Setiati and Slates as tag team performers at that running back spot for the Celtic offense. Picked up a couple to the 43-yard line. Jerome's in Division One of Region 2 of Division 1, I should say. And if you look up and down that region, I mean, goodness sakes, you talk about a murderer's row of high school football brand names in that region. You get into playoffs in that region, you've got your hands full when you get to the postseason. Here's Peoples with all time to throw, looking for Giantonio again, and the pass leads him too much, near side sideline and out of bounds.
Well, they're not shy about throwing the ball deep. I feel they can get behind those defensive backs. Pretty good set of defenders in that front 7. Coaches felt very good about some of the returning football players for the Westerville South Wildcats. A lot of experience up there in the front 4, the linebackers that they have. If there's any question mark, though, it was in that secondary. Do they have enough experience back there to be able to compete?
It's a 3rd down and 8 call for the Jerome offense. They'll send Price in motion to the far side.
There's a timeout.
Yep, they're going to have to call a timeout here as the play clock was winding down at the 3:38 mark. First timeout used by either team in half number 1 of this game here tonight, with Dublin Jerome on top again by the score of 7-0. This timeout on the field is sponsored by Aware Recovery Care. In-home addiction help is waiting for you at awarerecoverycare.com. Kellyanne Stitz, the 3rd member of our broadcast crew, patrolling the area behind the Westerville South sideline tonight. Kellyanne.
Quarterback Nolan Peoples do his thing. He's a leader on the offense, but he's also a leader in general on the team. He was elected a team captain as a junior, the first under head coach Brett Glass. He said the guys just rallied around him. They trust him. They're confident in his ability. They trust the work that he's put in the offseason, and you're seeing that connection play out here on the field, including that 97-yarder earlier, guys.
And Kellyanne, you talked to Brett Glass, and we both did. And I love the line he used about talking to former coach Brian White about his mentality for tonight's game.
Yeah, he said, we're going to go into this like viewing as if we're going to lose by 50. Now, it doesn't mean he's not confident in his kids. It means that he doesn't want to get too overzealous or too overconfident heading into this one. It means that he is taking care of business and leaving no stone unturned heading into this week one to try to squeeze out a victory.
Matty Giantonio with the catch, and he was referencing, and I referenced Brian White. Brett Glass telling me about that when he had a conversation with the longtime Hilliard-Davidson coach, very successful coach Brian White at a couple of different stops as you watch Peoples and Giantonio hook up on the sideline. But he said Brian White told him that, Jeff, that you have to approach every game that way. If you walk in feeling overconfident, then chances are you may have missed something.
Well, Brian White's a classic. I mean, I can see that coming right out of Brian White. He was a terrific coach, one of the best in the business.
1st and 10 now for the Celtics as they move deeper into Westerville South territory, and a nice tackle right there, starting into the hole, but then being tripped up was the running back, Ian Smith, for Westerville South, able just to get an arm out and flip the ball carrier down, as starting into the hole on that little touch toss was Ethan Price. Watch that right there. Nice job.
Well, there's a lookout block out there on the outside. I mean, you got to do a better job protecting that little jet sweep that comes across. The quarterback loves this because his completion ratio goes way up, because that's considered a forward pass.
Right. Ball's
but it's just
31.
A little shovel pass to the wing back coming across the formation. But if you've got blocking responsibilities, you're a wide receiver, you better get the job done or you're not going to be on the field.
Under 3 minutes to go, quarter number one. Peoples again throwing for Kaczerski, far side, and he's unable to separate from the defensive back on coverage for Westerville South that time. Staying with him was Tavares Johnson. And good coverage that time by Johnson.
Not a bad throw at all. You know, he put it up there where hopefully his receiver, Kaczerski, could run underneath it and get it. But most importantly, Marty, he put it out there where nobody in those black jerseys had an opportunity to come down with the ball.
Kaczerski caught the attention of a lot of Division I coaches over the past summer at a number of camps. One of those was at the University of Toledo, where a lot of people took a quick eye at that young man as to what he was able to do. One of the things that stood out about him was the routes that he runs. And you factor him in with what we've already seen out of Matty Giantonio, Ethan Price, also the running backs, and this has the possibility of being a very good Dublin Jerome offense.
You know, obviously, Marty, we talk a lot about the changes going on in college football, obviously with NIL and free agency, I'm going to call it. There's also changes that are going on in the high school level as well. I mean, there's a lot of transfers that are going on, but you look at some of the camps you were talking to. These camps now with colleges have not become just come camp with us. These are invitation-only camps in a lot of circumstances, and they're bringing kids in, and they are working them out just specifically to see if they can qualify to be able to be a recruit.
Well, it is high school football season, but we are a week away from, that's right, you guessed it, the Football Fever on ABC6, the perfect place to get you ready for the Buckeye season opener against the Akron Zips. The new season starts with the Football Fever a week from Saturday at 11 a.m. on ABC6. The Buckeyes and the Zips. It's a kangaroo, by the way, the Zip. Did you know that?
It's also a score.
Oh, okay. Is that a prediction?
That's a prediction.
Is that a prediction? Okay. Peoples rolling to throw on 3rd down and 10. Far side and almost a leaping grab in traffic by Kaczerski. Or check it, that was Giantonio over there, 80, not 81, who went airborne and tried to haul that pass in.
Didn't look like he tipped it. Very catchable football. Pretty well thrown again by Nolan Peoples. Just a deep outcut here. Again, rolling to his left. Got his feet set pretty well. No, this is a ball that you've got to catch. You got to go up there and high point that football. And you can see the frustration over there by Jack Kaczerski. He won't do that very often. And a long field goal attempt here from the 38-yard line, 48-yard attempt.
Luca Licata will try this. At the Bowling Green camp earlier this summer, he hit the goalpost 2 times from 47 yards out. A lot of leg on this one. Will it get there? It will just fall shy. Not enough leg. And Westerville South will get the football back at the 2:34 mark, with Jerome on top 7-0. The only score of the night, a 97-yard touchdown pass from Nolan Peoples to Matty Giantonio. And that's where we stand right now. Westerville South went 7-5 last year, including losing their season opener to those Dublin Jerome Celtics. Wildcats saw their season come to an end with a 50-7 loss to Massillon, Washington in the second round of the playoffs. Brett Glass's team did get into the playoffs last year at 3-8. They were beaten by Olentangy in the first round, 44-14. Handoff goes inside, and Westerville South with the football as the carry by Elijah Jackson, 5'9", 185-pound sophomore. That first down carry, that first down play for Westerville South, sponsored by Buckeye State Bank. Approaching the 2-minute mark of quarter number 1. Westerville South will flare 2 wides to the near side. Jeff, put a man in motion.
Yeah, Kwame Mosley, a really good football player.
Andrews back to throw, heaving it to the near side, and almost a completion. Reaching out was Hassan Kaba. The 6'3", 180-pound junior just could not track that football down.
Now, just as we had talked about on a previous play where it went 97 yards for a touchdown, where that free safety got caught looking inside, this time there's the free safety coming over to be able to make the play. So the corner has him up until a certain point, and then he's got to get protection from the next level, and he got it there.
Andrews back to throw on third down. Flushed out of the pocket, would just shovel it ahead. Patrick Mahomes style on the run. Amari Hodges with the catch. It will be shy of the first down, out to the 28-yard line.
I thought Andrews had an easier opportunity to just tuck the ball and run. That receiver could have become a blocker for him. Again, pitches the ball right here, but if he just keeps the ball, I think he has a better opportunity for that first down. Amari Hodges coming up with his first catch of the evening.
Ethan Rosen on for another punt, his 4th of the first quarter for Rosen. Worked on his field goals in the offseason and also doing all the kicking for Westerville South. Here's a punt fielded by Dom Seward, and that punt, it took that kind of hop and then just kind of died, and Seward was really caught in no man's land right there as he tried to wiggle his way free from the Westerville South return team. It is the first night of the high school football season, and the best way to get caught up on what's happening with your favorite high school football team is to join Kellyanne Stitz tonight for Friday Night Rival Scores on Fox 28. It's sponsored by Columbus State Community College. Comes your way tonight at 10:45 on Fox 28. Kellyanne's everywhere, doing the scores, doing the sideline.
You know, even when I'm not in football season, Kellyanne is like a star.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
just ask her.
Did you see her down there signing autographs tonight?
I saw that. Yeah, I saw
big
that.
time.
Yeah. I tried to get her to sign one. She wouldn't do it.
Not a chance.
She just looked at me. Jerome first down and 10 as they scrimmage at their own 32-yard line. On the inside handoff, it was Joey Slates on the carry. Good look at Slates right there, 5'9" junior.
Gain of 2 yards on the play to the 34.
Under a minute to go in this first quarter, which started off with a lot of yellow laundry on the field, but it's settled down a little bit since those first couple of minutes of penalty flags. Probably put the jinx on it right there.
Yeah, there you go. 3 juniors in that starting offensive line for Dublin Jerome and 2 starting seniors at the tackle spots.
Peoples throws in a good toss in traffic and a good catch as Ethan Price makes the catch, then turns upfield and gets near the midfield stripe. Nolan Peoples, 5'11", 180-pound junior, hooking up with the 6-foot senior Ethan Price. Price, a guy that head coach Brett Glass says does a lot of the dirty work for us, blocking the jet sweep. We've seen that a couple of times already tonight out of Ethan Price. Good catch right there.
Putting a lot of pressure on that secondary. One of the things they want to do is they want to get pressure on quarterback Nolan Peoples. Make him throw through that picket fence. His clock is winding down now. That'll be the last play of the first quarter.
And the big play of quarter number 1 was a 97-yard scoring strike from Nolan Peoples to Matty Giantonio. And that's our points right now. Dublin Jerome leads Westerville South. The Celtics 7, the Wildcats nothing after 1 period.
Westerville South High School would like to thank their 2024 corporate sponsors, Westerville Senior Photography, the Lundquist Group, Midwest Sport Photos, Roosters, First Commonwealth Bank, the Harmon Agency, RWM Health Advisors and Chick-fil-A. Fans, get caught up with what is happening with your favorite high school team. Join Kellyanne Sitz tonight for FNR Scores on Fox 28. Sponsored by
Welcome back to Westerville South High School, along with Jeff Logan and Kellyanne Stitz. I'm Marty Bannister. 7-0 Dublin Jerome leads Westerville South in our 2024 season opening edition of Friday Night Rivals. The first period, one scoring play, and it was a whopper. 97-yard scoring pass from Nolan Peoples of Dublin Jerome to Matty Giantonio, and the Celtics, as teams switch sides, carries the football. The Celtics with the football as Joey Slates a gain out near the midfield stripe. That first down sponsored by Classic Exteriors. Quarter number 2 underway. A little sloppy to start the game, Jeff Logan. Seemed as if it settled down a little bit as the quarter went on.
Yeah, they quit throwing those yellow flags all the time, and I think that's better play by the football team, and the officials kind of settling in to the game as well. Both of these teams obviously had scrimmages before, but it's not the same setup as game night here in week number 1.
Second down and 8 call out near the midfield stripe. Price starts in motion, but just as we mentioned, penalty flags.
Snap, full start, number 80 of the offense, 5 yards, second down.
Matty Giantonio started before the ball was snapped, so that will push the Celtics back 5.
Yeah, if you got a man in motion coming across the formation, if there's any other motion along the way, that's going to be 2 guys moving at the same time, and that's going to be the procedure call. So, you know, what looked like a halfway decent start on first down now puts him in a 2nd and 13. But I'll tell you what, Nolan Peoples doesn't seem to be scared about any down and distance numbers.
Flag on the play, and it's sponsored, the penalty, look at the penalty, by the United States Army. Second down and 13. Back to throw. Peoples a pump fake. The protection breaks down, and Peoples dives ahead. Was able to avoid a sack. A little athletic ability right there. Saved him. Gets out to the 44-yard line.
Good job taking care of the football there. There's a lot of times the ball can come loose, and Peoples goes immediately to the sidelines. He was close by. Might as well get the call there. Bring up that long third down and 13.
Jeff, one of the things that Brett Glass said when I asked him about Nolan Peoples, he told me he's a really good high school football player. What does that tell you?
Well, that this is a kid that can maximize what they're trying to do at this level. And, you know, that doesn't mean that he won't play in college, but he is really solid. We got another opener.
Giantonio again, the open man, and again a opportunity for 6, but the pass leads him just a little too much. They had one play called back in the first quarter that would have set them up with a 1st and goal on the catch by Giantonio. Then the 97-yard touchdown pass, and then that pass just out of the reach of the speedy 6'1", 185-pound junior.
Yeah, nobody has run more yards tonight than Giantonio. I think 2 incompletions thrown all the way down the field, and 1 a 97-yard touchdown reception.
Luca Licata on to punt, as that was a 3rd down and long. Isaac Patterson awaits the punt. We'll watch the bounce. Also to the far side for the Wildcats was Alston, and the punt wobbles to a halt. And Westerville South will try to get some offense generated when we come back. A couple of minutes into quarter number 2, 7-0 Jerome over South.
Summer won't last forever, but during Toyota's national sales event, you can make memories that will.
Come on. There you go.
Where's my mom? Just be in the moment.
Get an adventurous new 24 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid with 4.99 APR financing, or lease a gas-powered RAV4 for $339 a month with 2 years no-cost maintenance. Toyota, let's go places.
Ian Gordon with the carry for Westerville South. Line of scrimmage the 17, and Gordon makes his way out across the 25 to the 28, and that's a 1st down for the Westerville South Wildcats. That 1st down sponsored by Classic Exteriors. And again, they'll hand off inside with the Wildcats, and again, on the carry, Ian Gordon. Tough kid, hard worker, according to head coach Eric Callen.
Just a sophomore. You know, this is a young man that's really, thick. If you look at him, he is a guy that's, got a lot of potential to grow into that body a little bit. And Ian Gordon already 5'9", 185.
Back to throw now as Andrews delivers, and the pass is caught by Hassan Kaba. It's another first down, sponsored by Classic Exteriors. As Westerville South starting to get a little momentum offensively now. They struggled mightily in that first quarter to get anything generated, and starting the second quarter with a decent drive.
Hassan Kaba is one of those kids that rediscovered football. He's a pretty good basketball player here at Westerville South, and coaches kind of encouraged him, and he wanted to come out and give the football game a try, and that job right there, pretty good.
Not much running room in the middle of the field that time. There is D'Angelo Nardone in on the stop. As again, we had a 10-10 matchup there as Nardone drops Ian Gordon. One of the things about Kaba you were talking about, didn't play football last year. One of the things that Eric Callen said was he walked onto the practice field this year and I went, wow, does this young man look the part? 6'3", 180-pound junior, and they're expecting him to be a key contributor this season. Here's Andrews to throw a little shallow cross to Amari Rogers, and he's tripped up just before the first down marker. Reaching out and flipping him airborne was Mateo Karam, the 5'11" junior, or senior rather, strong safety. That saved a first down gain, but it is 3rd and short now. Jeff, that shallow cross route is one that has really gained a lot of popularity over the years, isn't it?
It really has. If you find that those defensive backs are playing really deep off the ball, they're playing what's called cover 3, where they're breaking up the field in 3 sections. You can come underneath and get some wide open running room. And
speaking of which, powering ahead for Westerville South first down, sponsored by Classic Exteriors. There with the carry for the Wildcats, Elijah Jackson, and a first down. As for the first time tonight, they venture into Celtics territory.
Evan Andrews, 4 out of 8 throwing tonight for 27 yards. Good numbers. And they got some momentum going.
First down and 10. Andrews will roll to throw. Low, bounces it at the feet of the intended receiver, Hassan Kaba, near side. Evan Andrews, a guy who on social media posted a video of him dunking a basketball and slugged it with more than a quarterback. I'm an athlete. And I'll tell you what, that was a pretty impressive dunk, too.
That is pretty good.
From somebody who's never dunked a basketball. I know that's pretty darn good.
You just got to find one of those 8-foot rims. You'll be really good.
Hey, now listen, I played basketball with you. You never passed the ball. To the near side, Kaba with the catch, weaving his way through traffic across the 40-yard line to the 39 where he's brought down. As this Westerville South drive continues to the Celtic 39-yard line. They're facing a 3rd down and 5 here. Turned into a very comfortable night. Humidity returns. It's supposed to be in the 90s next week as you watch the catch by Kaba. Handoff to Jackson, working towards the marker, but a good tackle brings him down shy of the first down. As coming up for the Celtics, the free safety, Dom Seward, the 6-foot senior. So that'll bring up a 4th down, and an interesting play call here for Eric Callen and his offense. Jeff, they're going to leave the offense on the field here. 4th down and 5 as we hit the 7-minute mark of quarter number 2. Andrews will roll. Still with the football. Looking, lobs it ahead now, and the pass is incomplete.
Yes.
And here comes the flag. So
Holding.
that will give Westerville South a first down. Andrews was in a tough area, Jeff, with the football. And again, like you said earlier, it almost looked like he could have turned the ball up and run a little bit, but he elected to throw it ahead, but it looked like it's going to pay off for him in the long run here.
One of the receivers down there, there were 2 of them, looked like there was some holding or pass interference, and that's going to certainly be the call, and that's going to keep this drive alive on a 4th down conversion. Looked like Scioto was going to, or Dublin Jerome was going to get the football back.
Pass interference, 21 defense, 15 yards in the previous spot. It will result in a first down.
Sam Pesic, the junior corner. Well, in fact, that might have been Karam who they really had, or they get Pesic for maybe holding the receiver coming across the route that time. So again, that penalty flag sponsored by the United States Army. The first down brought to you by Classic Exteriors. And Westerville South moves in. Andrews up the middle with the football and is brought down as he started ahead. And on the stop, there's Kwame Bosley again, the 5'11", 200-pound junior. Didn't start last year for the Celtics, but did play a number of minutes for Brett Glass's defense last year. Second down and 8. Andrews will throw towards the near side for Patterson, but he's out of bounds. So that will bring up a third down. That Jerome defense, which, as we watch Patterson try to tightrope the sideline and was already out of bounds when the ball got to him. Jerome defense last year, Jeff, every game Jerome played last year, both teams scored double figures. There were no shutouts, no single touchdown games, anything along those lines. It was always a double-figure game for both teams. Andrews rolls to throw a little flare. This is Kilmeyer with his first catch of the night. He's to the 10 and bullies his way ahead for a Westerville South first down.
Boy, you talk about bullying your way ahead. That time Sam Pesic, number 21, coming up to try and make the stop there, and he's taking on the big guy, Tyler Kilmeyer, 6'7", 245. Watch this. This is a big-time D1 football player delivering the punch down inside. Really, first reception tonight for the big tight end.
Westerville South has entered the Buckeye Basement Solution Red Zone. Quality solutions at an affordable price. Handoff, negotiating his way towards the goal line and getting in for the first Wildcats touchdown of the night and of the season is the sophomore Ian Gordon.
Great push by that offensive line. Zach Moose, one of the captains over there, number 71, leading the charge. Is there a better name in football to play right tackle than Zach Moose? I mean, how good is that?
That touchdown is another Ramos Roofing touchdown. Get your free estimate on a roof by calling or texting 614-761-ROOF. Helped out by the Moose.
Yeah,
touchdown.
Get behind the Moose and let her roll. Good job by that offensive line, creating an opportunity. That's when you talk about a running back going downhill. Running downhill, got that pads low and keeps churning.
Rosen for the extra point, and this game is level at 7. Best drive of the night for Westerville South, and it results in points. At the 5:46 mark of quarter number 2, we are level at 7 in our Friday Night Rivals high school football game of the week.
Buckeye Valley 7, Delaware Hayes 0.
We are now tied at 7. Westerville South with the touchdown run by Ian Gordon. The scoring summary brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County. 10 plays, 83 yards. The Wildcats with their best drive of the night. It took them 4 minutes and 21 seconds to level the game at 7. Rosen getting set to kick the football away. Charlie Culp, Lucas Franks back deep for the Celtics of Dublin, Jerome.
You know, coaches are always talking about how do you respond to adversity. Obviously, Westerville South had the first taste of adversity after giving up a 97-yard touchdown. And then how about Jerome now having a little bit of adversity after having the ball stuffed right down their throat by Westerville South on that drive.
Rosen approaches the football, and again, Culp and Franks are back deep. This will be a short bounding kick that will be fielded by one of the upbacks. Sliding down, covering the football for Dublin Jerome that time was Matt Atwood. So the Celtics will start at the 26-yard line. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, they are back. That's right, your favorite furry mascot friends compete in the one and only Mascot Challenge, sponsored by our friends at Safe Light Auto Glass. Looking forward to that at the half as one of the staples of our broadcast, Mr. Logan.
Do you remember who won last year? Who was the winner last year? Don't look at me.
Was it you?
Don't look at me.
Nolan People so far, 3 of 10 for 125 yards, and 97 of that coming on the touchdown strike to Matty Giantonio. Well, the people who really win at something like that, Jeff, are the folks who get a chance to watch the mascots at the half.
Absolutely. It's enjoyable.
How much fun is that?
Read option that time by quarterback Nolan Peoples. Not much to read up there. There were not many opportunities. Landon Vickroy, again, 6'4", 205. Just a junior. You got to believe that that's a young man who's going to fill out and really become an impact player. Watch Nasir Battler up there as well, the nose guard.
So many of these Westerville South standouts are 2 and 3 sport performers. A lot of them play basketball for that Westerville South program. Timeout by Brett Glass and Dublin Jerome at the 5:07 mark of quarter number 1. With this quarter number 2, I'm sorry, with this game tied at 7.
Third and final timeout, I think, for Jerome.
And this timeout is sponsored by Aware Recovery Care. In-home addiction help is waiting for you at awarerecoverycare.com. We saw in the first quarter, Jeff, and you and I were talking about it in a couple of the breaks, the game was kind of sluggish. Both teams just kind of trying to figure themselves out a little bit. Seems like it's picked up a little rhythm and momentum now here.
Yeah, I think they're getting into their groove. I think there's no question about that. You can try and replicate in scrimmages as best you can, but it's not the same as game night when guys are going full go. You know, we talk about changes in football. One of the things that has really changed in all of football at all levels is the lack of contact that goes on Monday through Thursday in preparation for games. There's just not as much scrimmaging that goes on, and so getting out here and going full go from both sides is a big adjustment.
2nd down and 10 for the Celtics, and the football will go into the hands of Lucas Franks, who starts to negotiate his way up the middle of the field, gets out to the 35-yard line. Franks, 5'10", 165-pound junior.
He's back there in that slot position, and just a little bit of a shovel pass up the middle. This is a big 3rd down conversion for Jerome. Right now, the hot hand belongs to Westerville South after that long drive of theirs.
Slates to the right of the quarterback, and Slates will get the handoff, and he is dropped in the backfield. Great penetration that time. Racing through one of the outside linebackers, Ian Smith. 5'9", 155-pound senior, shot the gap and made a big tackle right there.
Yeah, they got that 3-4-4 defense where they've got those 4 linebackers, and they love to game. They love to blitz. And that time, as you mentioned, Ian Smith came up from that outside linebacker spot to be able to make the play.
Isaac Patterson and Jamari Alston are back deep, waiting for the punt of Luca Licata. Jerome won the meeting between these two last year, 30-15. Jumped out to a big lead. Here's a spiraling punt, fair catch signaled for and made by Isaac Patterson. I can recall the game we were doing last year in the opener, Jeff, when we were at Westerville North. We saw this score come across, and we both kind of looked at each other like, wow, Westerville South is down that many to Dublin Jerome. It kind of caught everybody off guard, I think, last year, week number 1. 7-7 our score here as we get you closer to halftime for the Bathfitter Halftime Show, as we help you discover the inspiring ways that teachers from Westerville South and Dublin Jerome's high schools are helping students as the school year begins, plus scores from around Central Ohio, all coming your way in the Bathfitter Halftime Show. Transform your bathroom in as little as 1 day. Get started by calling 614-392-8045. On the inside handoff, not much running room at all, and just almost muscling his way ahead for a couple of yards was Ian Gordon for the Westerville South offense. Be interested to see some of those scores from around the area tonight. Jeff was mentioning one of the games, that Pickering to North Lakewood St. Edward game, generating a lot of attention. Cleveland Glenville's playing at Upper Arlington tonight. We'll see the Golden Bears next week. Andrews, little shovel fake, has a gap, outside corner, gets into Jerome territory, still on the go, and a nice gain by the 6', 160-pound sophomore quarterback, Evan Andrews, to pick up another 1st down, brought to you by Classic Exteriors.
Boy, broken play in the backfield. Again, options coming to the right, and there was nothing there. He just decided to go out the back door and found an opening. Watch again. They're going to fake the pitch here, and this is going unscripted out the back door, and you can see the receivers really doing a good job downfield, maintaining their blocks, giving the best opportunity. And as I mentioned, I really felt that was a big third down conversion opportunity for Jerome because the Mo is on the side of Westerville South.
Ian Gordon with the carry inside the 40, shy of the 35-yard line. Carried the football 45 times last year. Second down and short coming up as Evan Andrews peering to the near side, waiting for the play to be signaled in. Second down and short for Westerville South. One of 3 schools in this district. They play for the Ruler of the Ville unofficial official type trophy between Westerville South, Westerville North, and Westerville Central. 3 pretty good football playing schools, and about the turnaround that Westerville North made last year under the guidance of Stan Jackson. Back to throw is Andrews. Pump fake. Protection breaks down. Evades the tackle and will turn and run upfield and picks up the first down. Great recognition there by Andrews, able to avoid the oncoming rush and just able to wiggle away from Rithwick Chugwani and pick up the first down.
Holding is going to go against Westerville South.
Well, so much for that.
Holding, number 51 of the offense, 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay third down.
It's still a good athletic play, though.
It was a terrific play, and the athleticism of these guys being able to freelance a little bit when plays break down around them. That's one of the things that quarterbacks are protected so much in practice anymore and in scrimmages that when you go live here, these guys having to freelance, this is all brand new territory, especially for a brand new starting quarterback.
That look at the penalty sponsored by the U.S. Army. There wasn't a little disgust in your voice, was it? The quarterbacks are protected. Flare to the near side, Kilmeyer with the catch, and is triple teamed down to the field turf surface inside the 45-yard line. Among the Celtics over there, Mateo Karam, also helped out by Kwame Bosley. And a timeout called by Westerville South with 81 seconds left in quarter number 1 of a game that's tied at 7. Wildcats and Celtics meeting for the second year in a row in the season opener. And again, tied at 7 after last year. Jerome ran away and hit and won by the score of 30-15. Coming up in just a couple of moments, we will go down to Kellyanne Stitz for the Music Go Around Coaches Corner to hear from, well, right now it's a tie game, so we'll leave it up to Kellyanne to see which coach she wants to talk to, and that will come your way as the teams head towards the locker rooms. 7-7 is our score right now. And again, the Coaches Corner brought to you by Music Go Round. Ball's at the 42-yard line after the timeout. When I was talking to Eric Calland earlier this week, the Westerville South coach, I'm sure he's been asked by a lot of different people, hey, what's this like for you to be the head coach at your alma mater? What's this week like? And he said to me, it's been a blur. I mean, he goes, I had to worry about so many things that I didn't have to worry about as an assistant coach, making sure that every little item was taken care of, every T was crossed, every I was dotted, and that can be a handful.
And he identified one of the most important things, making sure the laundry was done on time, right?
That's right.
I mean,
that's right.
Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. The head football coach is worried about if the laundry is done. But that's well, what it is in high school football.
Exactly. Well, you have to look good to play good, right? Andrews in the pocket with a penalty flag down. The pass is called by Kilmeyer, but this may be a holding call against Westerville South. That was a tough toss there by Andrews, and it will be a holding call, so that'll wipe out the pitch and catch to Kilmeyer.
Yeah, they're going against the same 51, Cam
Holding,
Patterson.
number 51 of the offense, 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay second down.
Here's a young football player, just a sophomore, playing that left tackle position, the blind side of the quarterback. Cam Patterson's got his hands full, and he got a handful of jersey basically on that one, and that's twice he's been called for holding, but they're really trying to bring pressure from the backside. And this kid, I think, is going to be a really good football player for Westerville South in the future. He's got that body.
Mm-hmm. R.J. Deersing, the 6'1", 230-pound junior. They have decent size across that front line. You talked about Zach Musa a little bit ago. 6'2", 205 pounds. He's been offered by Denison. Frank Boudou, a 5'10", 275-pound senior. Cam Patterson, 6'2", 230. Third down for Westerville South. It's third and long. They have to get to the Jerome 33-yard line, and they'll try to do it on the ground with the toss to Gordon. He is tripped up in the backfield. Max Michaels, 6'3", 200-pound senior, read that play perfectly and made the tackle.
Quick pitch. And this is really the shoestring tackle. Nobody's going to bring down Ian Gordon that easily many times this season, Marty.
Boy, just enough of the ankle there. It's a good job by Michaels at getting to the play, but Gordon was starting to run away from him, and he just got enough of the back of the heel.
A little assist from the turf monster. Be interesting to see. They're going to let the clock run all the way down. Jerome has no opportunity to stop the clock. There's just a second left on the play clock. They'll call their last time out there and punt the ball away with 26 seconds remaining.
Both these teams were postseason participants last year. The Wildcats in Division II. They still reside in Region 7 of Division II in the always changing Ohio Capital Conference. We haven't had a chance to tell you much about that. We'll do that in the second half. Get a chance to look at, again, realignment for the OCC. Now a whopping 34 schools in this league.
What, we're going to be losing
we're losing one.
One out of the current mix, and there's two new ones that came in this year, Taze Valley and Logan, if I'm not mistaken.
Taze Valley and Logan, that's right.
And Franklin Heights goes out, is that correct?
Franklin Heights leaves for the Central Buckeye League, yes. 26 seconds left in the half. Good snap, good kick, end over end by Rosen. No deep backs. This one will take a high bounce inside the 10, and Dublin Jerome will have the football right about the 10-yard line, so you would have to think this will be an end of the half formation for the Celtics. And both teams will head to the locker room in a game tied at 7. Both these teams had, as we were talking, the changes for the OCC. Taze Valley and Logan now coming in, 5 divisions. But the divisions were once again shuffled, and for Taze Valley and Logan, how would you like this? You're coming into the OCC. Great to have you, but you're in the same division with Pickering and Central.
I was just about to say, what a great welcoming shot that is.
Congratulations, folks.
Holy cow.
Glad to have you.
You know, they've got traditionally strong teams like Lancaster, Canal Winchester in there. Reynoldsburg has been traditionally good. Newark is really good always. And Taze Valley and Logan are going to have their hands full.
It's like going to Thanksgiving and being set at the adult table.
And you're not ready.
And you're not ready. Exactly right. 7-7 the score here at the intermission as Westerville South and Dublin Jerome head their teams towards the locker room here on this season opener of our Toyota Friday Night Rivals coverage. The Celtics getting a 97-yard scoring pass from Nolan Peebles to Matty Giantonio, and then Westerville South with a very solid drive in quarter number 2. Ended up by a Ian Gordon touchdown run. Down to the sidelines, Kellyanne Stitz with Eric Callan.
Coach Callan, you guys really started to settle in that second quarter and gain some momentum. How do you continue that into the second half?
Yeah, we'll look at some of the plays here and make sure, and we're making adjustments the whole time on the sideline. But I think players got to see it. We got to sit down. They got to understand we're in this thing. We didn't start off like we wanted to on offense, but we're starting to get it. And so, man, if we can make those corrections and start off strong, that's what we're all about.
And with settling into the game, how do you limit some of those penalties going into the second half?
I know, and that's one of those things with week 1. You're trying to get after. You're all fired up, and then all of a sudden, you're getting those holding calls. So I think something that we got to make sure we emphasize, and hey, get our feet running, make sure our hands are inside, and go from there.
And what will be your message to the team? Speaking of that, at halftime.
Got to love to compete. This is what it's all about. Anybody's game. Let's go take it.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thank you,
guys.
7-7 the score. We're at the half tonight in our Friday Night Rivals, our Toyota Friday Night Rivals season opener.
Say that. Welcome into the Bathfitter Halftime Show. I'm Kelly Anstitz. Right now, the score stands leveled at 7 between Westerville South and Dublin Jerome. But tonight, and all season long, the CW Columbus and the Ohio Education Association are teaming up to share a spotlight on the outstanding teachers making a difference in the lives of their students. And tonight we are showcasing 3 inspiring educators from Dublin Jerome and Westerville High School in the Ohio Education Association Educator Spotlight.
The Ohio Education Association and the CW Columbus are putting the spotlight on these exceptional teachers here in Columbus, celebrating Megan Messner from Westerville South and 2 teachers from Dublin Jerome, Shayla Chandler and Ron Bookmeyer. Megan coordinates the freshman program and always makes sure they have a smooth transition from middle school to high school. She's always there for each and every student.
It's kind of an indescribable feeling when you have that connection and you can make that impact on a student to prove to them that like they can do it and that people here support them and are on their team. It's indescribable. It's why we become teachers.
Shayla and Ron started teaching at the same time at Jerome and have been lifelong friends since. They are both passionate about their students and being there for them in and out of the classroom.
They do start to get confidence, and I think trying to get them to build that confidence really does help.
And once they get there, or they know they have that person in their corner, you can really see, not only in the classroom, but out in the hallways.
Congratulations to these outstanding educators for all of the hard work they do for the future of Ohio.
Go Cats!
Go Cats!
A big congratulations to this week's honorees. Now it's time for a halftime segment like no other. It's my favorite, it's your favorite, it's also Jeff and Marty's favorite. It's time now for the Safe Flight Mascot Challenge. Enjoy.
Welcome, everyone, to the 2nd annual Safe Flight Mascot Challenge, right here on the CW Columbus. All righty then, let's meet the contestants. Looking to pounce, it's Wildcat. Ready to roar, it's Lion. Setting up to soar, it's Eagle. Looking to sting, it's Bumblebee. And from Good Day Columbus, it's Muggsy. This week's challenge, the field goal. First up, Bumblebee. There sure has been a lot of buzz about this little competitor. And, oh boy, no sting there. All I can say is, not so buena. All right, it's Lion's chance to roar. There's the kick, and not enough paw. The king is dead. Eagle is next, and he's eager to win. Oh, no flight on that ball. Oh, Eagle, epic fail. Wildcat is certainly ready to scratch. Oh, It's good! The crowd goes wild for this Wildcat. Great kick! Last up, it's Muggsy. And down goes Muggsy. Bumblebee has swiped the ball. Oh, down goes B. So this week's winner is Wildcat. Congratulations, Wildcat, on your big win. Tune in next week for another exciting Safe Light Mascot Challenge on the CW Columbus. No mascots were harmed in the making of this video.
What an exciting finish there. Now the Backbitter halftime show will continue after this break, but right now Westerville South and Dublin Jerome are tied 7-all, making for an exciting second half to come, but we'll be right back.
Yeah, I had no idea that was like that. I never build this stuff, you know. It's kind of a nice way to get on that thing. I'll have to go get like a pair of, you know, pinch it with, yeah. So many people in the truck though, you know, to get into what you need. I'll just see if I can get a pair of tires.
BOA 7-7 is our score here at Westerville South in our Toyota Friday Night Rival season opener. Dublin Jerome and Westerville South all tied at 7. It is week number 1 of the high school football season. All across Central and the state of Ohio, and there are a number of big games going on around the area tonight. Amanda Clear Creek, the Aces lead the Panthers of Lyndon McKinley 7-0 as they play in quarter number 1. Bishop Watterson on top of Big Walnut 10-0. Very interesting matchup there between those two very good programs, Jeff Logan.
Yep, they are good. And if you look at the other games going along in Central Ohio,
Watterson
Hamilton
on top there. Uh-oh, the Rams are down 14-0. Hamilton Township
at Whitehall Yearling
on top of the alma mater. A lot of game left in that one. Licking Heights and Newark are tied at 7 in a good matchup there. Licking Heights, one of those programs we'll see later on this season. Olentangy Orange jumping on Marysville. Look at that, 35-0. As that game is in the second quarter of that season opener. Orange with a new coaching staff this season. The Olentangy battle, Liberty on top of the Braves 21-0. That game has reached the intermission. Hayes Valley, one of the two new members of the OCC, losing at Grove City in their opener by the score of 28-0. City League non-conference matchup, Walnut Ridge taking on defending champion Northland, and it's 8-0 in favor of the Scots, who lead the Vikings in that get-together. One of the ruler of the Ville games underway. Second quarter, Westerville North, Westerville Central are scoreless. In that one, we saw Westerville North last season, Worthington Kilbourne, Watkins Memorial, a field goal apiece. That game in the second period. That's a Watkins team we'll see later on against Licking Heights. A lot of people like that Watkins Memorial team in the Licking County League this season. And a good start there, and that one tied at 3. What a shot right there of the sun setting as we bring you high school football here in this Friday night. Boy, not a better picture to describe high school football right there with the marching band and the great backdrop there. Also, not a better way to talk about sports and student athletes than introduce you to this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Ohio Education Association is proud to recognize Central Ohio's Scholar Athletes of the Week. Tyler Killmeyer has played 4 years varsity football and basketball for Westerville South High School. He's taken many AP and honors classes and has a 4.3 GPA. Ethan Price is a multi-year letter winner in baseball and football for Dublin Jerome High School. He's a College Credit Plus student and carries a 3.8 GPA. Congratulations to these outstanding Ohio Education Association Scholar Athletes.
7-7, Dublin Jerome, Westerville South, as we close in on the start of half number 2 in our season opener. It's Toyota's Friday Night Rivals. 7-7 our score here at the intermission. We're glad you're with us for our Toyota Friday Night Rivals season opener as Dublin Jerome and Westerville South get ready to start half number 2. Jeff Logan, game started off kind of sluggishly but picked up some momentum in the second quarter.
Yeah, not surprising that both teams seemed a little dysfunctional at the beginning of the football game, but very impressed with how they were able to throw the ball deep, Dublin Jerome, and how this Westerville South team didn't quit. Here's an early pass going to Ethan Price, number 6. Really a good effort there to start the ball game. And then we got a guy by the name of Ian Gordon, Marty, who took over, and you're going to see some more of this young man.
The big play, though, Jeff, this 97-yard scoring strike to put Jerome ahead.
Yeah, this is ideal. Giantonio had one called back because of holding just prior to that, and then takes this one into the end zone. Nearly connected on a later one as they went through.
Westerville South, though, with an impressive second quarter drive, aided by this throw to Tyler Kilmeyer, which set him up for a 1st and goal.
Yeah, this just puts Ian Gordon in a spot to be able to bulldoze his way into the end zone. And look at this, the young running back with that low body, got that shoulder pads down low, good level, and we got a 7-7 ball game as a result of that one.
There's some of the first half numbers. Dublin Jerome unable to get much generated on the ground. The air, though, dominated by that 97-yard scoring toss. Number of penalties back and forth, and again, the majority of those came in the first quarter. We did see some in the second quarter, but again, the game started to find a little bit of rhythm. Jerome with a rather sizable lead, if you will, total yards, 142-118. We've been fortunate no turnovers in this game yet. Better balance offensively so far in the game, though, for Westerville South.
Well, and if you look at most of those yards that Westerville South had came in the second quarter of play. Right now, that guy, Momentum is right there in the Wildcats' lap. And the Celtics will get the ball first, though, as they deferred at the beginning of the football game. So we'll see what they're all about.
Both teams have 7 points. Dublin Jerome and Westerville South. We're closing in on half number 2. In our season opener, it's Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
I have Coach Glass.
Show support for those facing mental challenges and honor those who have lost their lives to suicide. Whether you run, walk, or cheer from the sidelines, your participation matters.
Coach Glass, the momentum shifted in the second half in favor of Westerville South. How do you flip that now heading into the third quarter?
You know, just recruit at halftime and get back out here and, you know, start strong on offense. You know, we get the ball first. That's why we defer in the first half and need to get something going there, a little more consistency on offense. You know, our defense played well for the most part, gave up the one long drive, but other than that, defensively we were all right. We just got to get something going on offense.
Both teams started to settle into that second quarter. What did you see out of your guys in that halftime message?
Just keep playing hard. Yeah. You know, they were getting gassed there a little bit at the end of the second quarter. We just got to keep playing hard and doing what they're supposed to do.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
7-7 our score as we close in on the start of half number 2, Dublin Jerome and Westerville South. Time now for our marching band profile, brought to you by Music Go Round. As both marching bands had a chance to get on the field at the intermission, the Dublin Jerome High School Marching Band, they put on quite a show earlier this evening. This look at their performance sponsored by Music Go Round. Check out their locations at 2630 Bethel Road and inside the Stone Ridge Plaza in Gahanna. Great job by the Dublin Jerome Celtic Marching Band, as big a part of high school football on a Friday night as the game itself, the marching bands. And as we head down to the sidelines again, our friends at Music Go Around bring you this visit with the head coach of the Celtics, Kellyanne Stitz, with Brett Glass.
Coach Glass, the momentum shifted in the second half in favor of Westerville South. How do you flip that now heading into the third quarter?
You know, just recruit at halftime and get back out here and, you know, start strong on offense. You know, we get the ball first. That's why we defer in the first half and need to get something going there, a little more consistency on offense. You know, our defense played well for the most part, gave up the one long drive, but other than that, defense, we were all right. We just got to get something going on offense.
Both teams started to settle into that second quarter. What did you see out of your guys in that halftime message?
Just keep playing hard.
Yeah.
You know, they were getting gassed there a little bit at the end of the second quarter. We just got to keep playing hard and doing what they're supposed to do.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
And again, the Celtics will get the football to start half number 2. And as you heard Coach Glass say, that's why we deferred, Jeff Logan. So obviously that's a part of the game plan coming into this, but it does pay dividends, doesn't it?
Well, you talk about controllables in a football game, and if you win the toss, you got some controllable at that point. I've seen coaches that decide that they want to take the ball right at the very beginning to build the momentum of their football team. Others would like to have that choice of being able to come out and, if you're down a little bit, challenge your offensive football team to get back into it. Right now, it's 7-7 ball game. It's anybody's at this stage. But the momentum that I talked about right now certainly resides with the Wildcats.
Ethan Rosen getting set to kick the football away. Lucas Franks and Charlie Culp are back deep. Dublin Jerome 3-8 last year. Westerville South went 7-5. The two teams met in last year's lid lifter, with Jerome winning it 30-15. High bounding kick and covering it and then going down quickly for Dublin Jerome was Dylan Settiati after fielding that bounding kick, prevent the deep return. What do you think of the new kickoff rule in the NFL this year? Have you seen that in the preseason?
You know, I've seen a little bit of it. It reminds me of something like arena football. I mean, why do we have to keep fixing something that's not broken? I mean, my goodness.
Nolan Peoples in that first half, 4 of 10, 125 yards, the big scoring strike, the 97-yard touchdown pass to Matty Giantonio.
A couple drop balls there in the first half as well, so I think his performance in the first half has been decent.
This first down brought to you by Mighty Dog Roofing. And the first play of half number 2 is a short gain to Lucas Franks, trying to get to the outside. Franks, 5'10", 165-pound junior. That'll bring up a quick second down for Dublin Jerome. Last year, the Celtic offense churned out 321 yards a game. They had a really good quarterback in Kyle White, who started the vast majority of last season. We touched on Nolan Peoples getting that one call against Hilliard Bradley and just flashing a little bit of the future with 5 touchdown passes that night. But Kyle White was a good guy to learn from. A little quick inside toss to Ethan Price, and he is stuck right away after making the catch. Great coverage there that time by Westerville South, as Isaac Patterson said, nope, you're not going any further after making that catch.
Boy, the scouts like him as well. He's got a bunch of D1 offers at the MAC level. Isaac Patterson, a shutdown corner, coming up and making the play, and that's all you can ask out of your junior cornerback over there, doing a terrific job.
That quickly brings up a 3rd down and 7 for the Celtic offense. Jerome started out last year 2-0, but Kellyanne Stitz told us earlier about that 7-game losing streak. And I thought Brett Glass made a really interesting comment. We'll tell you after Peoples goes back to throw and zips it far side, and unable to haul that low throw in was Giantonio. So that'll bring up a 4th down. Brett Glass said that was a year where we want to remember and forget it all at the same time, Jeff. Take us through that, a coach's mindset of something like that.
Well, every situation, there's a good and a bad that goes with it, and you learn from both of those. You can't ignore the good things that happen to your football team. You can't ignore the bad things. You have to decide, how do we build upon or how do we recover from? So when you talk about adversity, those are the down parts. If you talk about victory, those are the things you got to say that we got to go out there and continue to do on a regular basis.
Greg Glass had a great career at Jonathan Alder as the head coach, but saw an opportunity at Dublin Jerome and has been very successful there. Bounding kick takes a good Dublin Jerome roll and will angle to the far side and will slowly roll to a halt just inside the 20-yard line. So week number 1 of the season, we're here at Westerville South. We're really looking forward next week to our first visit to the renovated Marv Moorhead Stadium at Upper Arlington, where the Golden Bears will take on the Bears of Olentangy Berlin. The Newman Roofing pregame kickoff is at 5 o'clock on ABC 6 with Kellyanne Stitz, and then Jeff and I will be with you here on the CW Columbus for the game at 7 o'clock. Our game preview sponsored by Newman Roofing. Don't get just a new roof, get a Newman roof. 614 New Roof. There you see Evan Andrews' resume tonight. 6 of 13, 42 yards. And he'll throw on first down and 10. Flares it near side. This is Patterson. Up to the 30 and dragging defenders with him, hanging on to the pigskin as he gets inside the 35. Some thievery attempts going on there by the Celtic defenders, but Patterson with a little strength hangs on for a first down.
How about back-to-back plays by that young man? Big stop on defense and comes out in that wide receiver position, playing both sides of the ball, and Patterson gets that first down. Great way to start and keep that momentum going.
Goes out across the 35 to the 37. First down sponsored by Mighty Dog Roofing. And to the far side go the Wildcats this time. And again, just some physical running by Ian Gordon. And picks up a sizable gain on second down. Gets out to the 42-yard line. You heard Brett Glass say, Jeff, at the intermission when he was talking to Kellyanne Stitz, felt his kids got a little gassed in the second quarter of that game. Do you sense maybe Westerville South sensed that?
Well, I think they sensed it, and they were also able to drive the football, running the ball with that guy right there, number 10. He's doing a heck of a job for Westerville South, Ian Gordon. That was a zero-gain play. You got to make that stop right at the point of attack, and Ian Gordon said, not a chance. I'm going for more.
13 carries, 57 yards for Gordon.
Much better.
A dozen carries in the first half, and there's good penetration. There's Kwame Bosley again. We've called his name a number of times tonight. The 5'11", 200-pound junior defensive tackle. Made a number of big plays tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt, so far he's been the defensive player of the game for Jerome. You can see how quickly he gets free of any blocking, works himself down the field, and that is not an easy job bringing Ian Gordon down by yourself.
Let's see what the junior quarterback Evan Andrews can do with a 3rd down and 5 as the football is just past the 40-yard line for this Westerville South offense. Last year they churned out 341 yards a game. They scored 25 a game last year, did the Wildcats. Andrews will look one way, throw the other, and the pass is dropped. That was attempted, or a pass rather, thrown in the area. The attempt to Isaac Patterson looked a little low. He just could not pull it in, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
Patterson started off with a little bit of a go route, get that defensive back to turn around and then stop and come back to the football. Unable to make that happen. Evan Andrews, the junior quarterback, 6'1", 160. Off to a solid start tonight, though.
Dom Seward standing back at his 25-yard line. And here's the punt by Rosen. Seward will field the punt on the run, a couple of shuffle steps, and then tries to get to the outside and has a little running room. He's into Westerville South territory to the 40, to the 35-yard line rather, and then is shoved out of bounds. A good return there by Dom Seward for Dublin Jerome, and a little momentum boost right there for the Celtics on the great return by Seward on the punt.
Boy, special teams have been a big part of tonight when you think about field position, and Dom Seward does a good job of coming up on this football. And how about the wall that is being set up by the Celtics as the return comes all the way down inside the 35-yard line, and they are in business right at the 30-yard line.
A 41-yard punt return, and Dublin Jerome in great field position at the 8:17 mark of quarter number 3. That offense will come right to the field.
Kaczerski's been quiet tonight. See if they can find number 81, a guy they've been talking about. The guy's got a great upside, but unable to, I think maybe one time they've been able to connect with Kaczerski all evening.
First down and 10. This first down play brought to you by Mighty Dog Roofing. And they go over the middle, and the pass caught by Ethan Price.
A lot of time and attention being put on Kaczurski. Double teamed on that play. Good job of waiting and looking through your levels of receivers and trying to find the right guy. And Ethan Price became that open receiver.
Another first down for the Celtic offense as they move to the 20-yard line. A chunk gain of 10 right there. And the Celtic offense, which has struggled for a majority of this game. They're now in the Buckeye Basement Solution red zone. Quality solutions at an affordable price. And Lucas Franks gets the football that time for the Celtics. And was able to get about a yard to the 19-yard line.
Well, the Celtics certainly have a very effective kicker in Lucia Licata, but this is go territory where you got to get 7 points.
School located north of the Dublin area. Jerome, one of 3 high schools in the Dublin district, along with Kaufman and Scioto. Peoples looks one way, flares it back to the far side. This is Giantonio with the catch, and he's hemmed in.
Wow.
And a nice job of reading that play. There's Isaac Patterson again, coming up to blow that up immediately.
Boy, he is the real deal. There is no question about it. He wasn't faked by the move to the right and coming back to the left. They got the ball to Matty Giantonio, who's a dangerous receiver, but Isaac Patterson coming up and making the stop.
Saw a number of Celtic defenders, South defenders were blocked by Celtic players, but Patterson wasn't, and he zoomed in and made the tackle. Good play there. 3rd down and 9. Peoples back to throw now. Lofts it towards the end zone now for Giantonio. He goes up. He hauls it in, but was he out of bounds? Yes. Boy, that was close right there in the back corner of that end zone. There you see Patterson and Giantonio. Hey, I told you were out of bounds, Matty.
We'll watch the replay of this. We've got the best camera crew in the business. They'll be able to come up with this one. Watch. There's the ball. Let's see where that foot is.
Oh, yeah.
Here, watch. Here we get a better look. Right on the line.
Boy, that was close.
That was really close.
So Licata on to try a field goal attempt. This one will be 36 yards.
Blocked.
And the kick is blocked. The kick is blocked. And Westerville South with the football. That might have been Isaac Patterson who got in and blocked the punt, or blocked the field goal attempt, rather. There is a flag down on the return. There were all kinds of Wildcats racing through on that field goal attempt.
The flag's going to be a sideline warning against Westerville South, so it will not be a penalty. That sideline warning there first. Dublin Jerome was the only team with a warning earlier in the football game, so one for each of the sides.
We'll look at the flag sponsored
We
by
have
the U.S.
sideline
Army.
interference
Sideline warning.
on Westerville South. That is a 15-yard penalty because the players came on the field during the play. We'll add 15, or we'll take them back 15 yards and have 1st and 10.
Thank you for the clarification. No hand slap. That's a real one.
That wipes out a pretty good return. Let's see who got the field goal.
Ball spotted at the 45-yard line.
That's not Patterson, is it? Making another play.
No, that
Number 5.
getting through that time for
Ian Smith.
Westerville South was Ian Smith.
Yep.
Yeah, he got there. Well, you think Patterson, though, right away, because
he's been making every other
was
play.
back there, too. He was there. But it was Smith that got there first. The negative to that, though, it does shove the Wildcats back to their own 30 after a good return on the blocked field goal attempt. So let's see what Andrews and the offense can do after a momentum stemming play right there by the Westerville South defense. They'll hand the football off, and this is Elijah Jackson picking up a short gain. Jackson had a lot of carries in the scrimmage games against Central Crossing and Hartley. And in fact, in the Hartley scrimmage, he was really one of the factors in that game, why they had such a very good second half against the Bishop Hartley Hawks of head coach Brad Birchfield. Here's Andrews back to throw, zips it over the middle, and the pass is juggled and dropped. A lot of traffic around Jaleel Armstrong.
Armstrong, a 5'10", 175-pound junior, working up the seam. Let's see as he goes up to high point the football. Again, you know, tough to challenge a young man. That's a tough ball to catch up there in the lights, and I know he's frustrated with himself because that was a catchable football. Would have been a Pretty strong move, but still catchable.
3rd down and 7 as Andrews rolls to the near side, sidesteps the pressure, still with the football looking, reversing field, and is hemmed in and dropped just across the 35-yard line. There was not a whole lot of room to do anything with the football for the junior signal caller, as the Celtic defense did a very good job of getting to the junior quarterback, and that'll bring up 4th down to the sidelines and Kellyanne Stitz.
Guys, I want to touch on Jaleel Armstrong. He has a great comeback story. He played some freshman year, but then he was not able to participate on the football team sophomore year. But Coach Callan said he really turned it around. He got his grades up. He worked hard in the classroom, and that transpired onto the football field. He rarely misses a workout session, a practice, and even if he does, he's very in communication with his coach about why he's missing. But he said he saw his grades rise and his commitment to the football team. And Callan has been very impressed by his actions, and he's confident in his ability to catch passes this season and contribute.
Yeah, that was the first time they tried to get the football to him. We'll tell you more about that. It's a very special young man. Timeout on the field. 7-7, Westerville South, Dublin Jerome. Jeff Logan has his hula shirt on tonight. 7-7 the score, Westerville South and Dublin Jerome. Did you know it was hula night here?
I didn't, but I think Kellyanne ought to dress up as whatever the theme is. She's the only one that can carry that.
Oh my goodness.
Don't you think? Only 9 guys on the field. That's
Right.
what forced the timeout by Westerville South.
Good pump by Rosen. Very high and fielded almost waist high by Dom Seward at about the 35-yard line, and that's where the Dublin Jerome offense will come back on the field. Again, the score 7-7 right now as we play here in this 3rd quarter of this season opener. Division I Roofing is your hometown team contractor, and they are proud to support Friday Night Rivals here on the CW Columbus. Division I Roofing replaces many storm-damaged roofs for just the cost of the insurance deductible. Call them today at 614-971-8271 to get started. Great to have our friends at Division I Roofing with us here this year on our coverage of high school football Friday Night Rivals. Back to throw, Nolan People steps up into the pocket, running with the football, looking, being grabbed, evades one tackler, takes a pretty good shot, still remains upright, and able to just fight his way ahead for a couple of yards. A lot of licks being applied to Nolan Peoples, but he kept going and able to salvage something out of a very short gain there.
Yeah, you're going to feel that one tomorrow morning. I promise you that. Peoples, a 580-pound junior, nothing going, and you can see the contact out there. This is a physical football game and a physical defense with Westerville South Wildcats coming from all directions.
We mentioned how Peoples was the understudy to Kyle White last year. Brett Glass said at times the two were neck and neck during preseason practice and during some of their practice sessions, and when White missed that Hilliard Bradley game, they had no hesitation at all putting Peoples in at the quarterback position. Ethan Price flipped airborne as he tried to turn the corner and brought down, coming up, Nao Thomas, 5'9", 195-pound senior linebacker.
Brought down by Neo Thomas.
Yeah, missed block on the exterior there. You got to hold your blocks if you're a wide receiver on this football team. That's a very slow developing play across the formation. And the wide receivers, again, with most football coaches and certainly with Brett Glass, catching the ball is fun. But if you want to stay on the field,
Yes.
you better block.
You saw a moment ago, number 13 for Westerville South, Devin Eby, 6'1", 185-pound senior, a hockey player when he's not playing football. So contact is no problem for that young man. Back to throw now as Peoples flushed out of the pocket, momentarily hit as he throws, and this one will flutter harmlessly to the field turf.
Boy, Preston Kawa, number 4, bringing the heat. Oh, my goodness. You got a running back with the responsibility of trying to block a defensive end down linebacker guy, and, man, I'll tell you what, Kawa, a 215-pound senior, was bringing the heat.
And just like that, Jerome will have to punt the football back to Westerville South. We're still tied at 7. Here's a look at the last play.
I mean, this is just boom. You love these shots. Very clean hit, right on time with the quarterback, and very fortunate that ball was not intercepted.
Punt will be fielded at the 29-yard line as these two teams continue to battle their way through a 7-7 tie with 2:45 to go in the third quarter of our Toyota Friday Night Rivals.
At Toyota's national sales event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun, like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, Ford.
Extend your summer vacation in a roomy new Highlander Hybrid. Now get up to $1,000 APR cash on a new 24 Highlander, plus 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Westerville South with the football. 7-7 is our score with 2:45 to go here in quarter number 3. Trying to find a little running room, but these two defenses have kind of taken charge of this game right now as Ian Gordon tried to get to the corner. That first down play sponsored by Mighty Dog Roofing.
Matt Atwood at that linebacker spot, doing a good job of turning that play back inside. He's a D2, D3 guy so far, senior, wants to play at the next level.
So Jaleel Armstrong, we'll tell you a bit more about that young man in just a moment. Kellyanne Stitz had a nice story on him a short time ago. Here is D'Angelo Nardone coming away with a tackle. Those two number 10s have squared off a couple of times in this game tonight as Ian Gordon is brought down. Kellyanne was talking about Jaleel Armstrong, did not play after a freshman year with the football program. According to head coach Eric Callan, the young man just made a lot of wrong choices, but bounced back very nicely. His brother Brandon Armstrong, who played at Westerville South, has kind of been his mentor now, pointing him in the right direction. And as Kellyanne said, Armstrong, he doesn't miss a workout. He's on time for practices. His grades are way up right now. And those are the kind of things you really love to see in high school football, Jeff. A young man who maybe wasn't going the right direction, but was able to turn it around.
Oh, you love those stories. Too many times people concentrate on all the negatives that are out there, but you take an example like this, and this young man and his brother is a great example of being a light giver, coming back and making things happen.
First down, brought to you by Mighty Dog Roofing, and an attempt to Ian Gordon just off the fingertips to the near side. So that will bring up a second down with 1:27 to go here in this third quarter. The Westerville South Wildcats and the Dublin Jerome Celtics meeting in this season opener. Elijah Jackson, the ball carrier. Bring up a third down call for the Westerville South offense here in this third period drive. Again, of a game that's tied at 7 right now. Andrews back to throw with a minute to go in the quarter. And on a crossing route, Amari Hodges has dropped as he tried to turn it up. D'Angelo Nardone, a number of tackles tonight for that young man. And a nice open field drop there with the ball carrier, Amari Hodges, as we surge towards the end of quarter number 3. Thanks to Kroger Great Lakes Distribution Center, tonight's game is streaming live on the ABC6 YouTube channel, the ABC6 News app, and on the CWColumbus.com. Whole crew out here tonight. Dave Holmes was here earlier. Marshall McPeak was here with the weather.
How about that?
Had everything covered. Fourth down. And on to kick the football away, Ethan Rosen. And a tough catch of that punt in traffic right there by Dom Seward. Oh, wow. Kind of leaned in there in a very tight window to make that catch. Of course, this is week number 1 of the high school football season, so you will want to know what is going on with your favorite high school team. Join Kellyanne Stitz tonight for Friday Night Rival Scores on Fox 28. It's sponsored by Columbus Day Community College. That comes your way at 10:45 tonight on Fox 28. So both these offenses trying to find their way through two very stingy defenses here in this season opener. Peoples back to throw, has some time, and delivers the ball through the hands of Joey Slates on the sideline. And he had a little bit of running room if he was able to hang on to that pigskin, but it went right through his hands.
So if you're running back coming out of the backfield, you've got everybody else clearing the path, and that ball came out quickly, but that's one that that young man would like to have over again. So far, I mean, really, other than the one big pass play, they really have struggled offensively. Speaking of Dublin Jerome, having any consistency in that offense. And injured player down on the field, looks like it's David Guyabeng, number 2, the cornerback. He's had a big night tonight.
He sure has. He's made a number of tackles tonight. We talked earlier about how the OCC has realigned again, and Dublin Jerome is in its 20th year of existence. The school,
hard to believe.
Yeah.
Hard to believe.
It was when the league went to the realignment and added teams. Dublin Jerome coming in their first year. They didn't do quite what their district friends at Dublin Scioto did in their first year, which was win a state championship.
Right.
But nonetheless, in their 20th year in existence, the school, and their 20th year as members of the OCC, the ever-growing, ever-changing OCC. It just seemingly finds its way to expand constantly. Now, this league was formed, if you take a moment to look back, in 1966. They talk about the original 6 in the National Hockey League. Here are the original 5 from the OCC. There was one Westerville, Gahanna-Lincoln, Reynoldsburg. There was one Worthington. And our friends at Whitehall Yearling were one of the original 5 members of the Ohio Capital Conference, formed in 1966. Long throw downfield for Giantonio is picked off. Isaac Patterson. The big night continues for that young man, the 6'1 junior, able to pick that pass off and give Westerville South the football with 2 seconds left in quarter number 3.
Well, you got to like the spirit of this young man, and he delivers in big plays. He's done it on running plays. He's done it from an offensive standpoint tonight, and he's also now doing it deep over the middle. This ball was thrown up and double coverage. This time the free safety did not get nosy, paid attention to what was going on, and you can see right there, looked like the ball was intended for Patterson. Or actually the receiver, again, Matty Giantonio, trying to get him deep.
Big night for a player wearing number 0, Isaac Patterson. So with 2 seconds left in the quarter, the Westerville South offense will come back onto the field. Isaac Patterson making a serious case for player of the game in this one tonight. He's had a heck of a night. Mighty Dog Roofing first down for the South Wildcats. They'll flare the ball to the near side, and Amari Hodges with the catch. And that will be the final play of quarter number 3. We're headed to the 4th quarter in our season opener tonight of our Toyota Friday Night Rivals matchup. 7-7 we stay as we head to the 4th quarter. Stay with us. We'll have a winner in 12 minutes. Welcome back to Westerville South, our season opener of our Toyota Friday Night Rivals coverage, along with Jeff Logan and Kellyanne Stitz. Jason Van Hoos is dialing up all the numbers for us tonight. Dean Marini is punching all the buttons, along with our great crew in the truck and all the great camera shots you're seeing. I'm Marty Bannister, and we're tied at 7 as Dublin Jerome and Westerville South tee it up here in the season opener. Andrews to throw pass is tipped, trying on a crossing route to hit Jaleel Armstrong and just could not connect. And now to bring up a quick third down play here as we start quarter number 4. 7-7 is our score here in this season opener tonight. The only scores of the game, Matty Giantonio and Nolan Peoples combined on a 97-yard scoring toss in the first half. And then Westerville South answered with a very impressive drive that was capped off by a 9-yard run by Ian Gordon. Third down and 5 for Westerville South, and Andrews will sprint to throw with the football. Still rolling now, and just shovels it ahead, and the pass is caught, and stretching ahead was Hassan Kaba, trying to reach the first down, and I think he got, now a flag comes in after the play. There have already been a couple of bench warnings against Westerville South.
I'm wondering if they're going to make a decision that he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. And, you know, normally that flag would be thrown immediately by the line judge, but that one came from the referee.
Illegal forward pass on the offense, number 11. 5 yards from the spot of the foul, loss of down. It'll be fourth down.
Marty, the line of scrimmage was the 34-yard line. If we look at this again, get an idea of when did he flick that ball going forward. We've seen this a couple of times tonight when he's been out there in the flat trying to find a receiver and getting rid of it. Keep in mind the 34-yard line is your line of scrimmage. Cannot advance the ball beyond there. He's going to cross the 30. Right there. Boy, that was close.
That was very close.
That was close.
Wow. Here's a wide look at it here. Again, the 30.
Or the 39-yard line, excuse me. No, 34-yard line. I'm correct in that regard. That's a 50-50 ball to me.
And here is a punt that will Isaac Patterson trying to give it a little extra oomph and move it ahead a little bit. The ball will die inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. So with 11:37 left in the game, the Celtics offense will come back onto the field in this 7-7 tie.
You know, Marty, one of the hard things about that from a quarterback standpoint, in the game of high school football, they do not mark the sidelines on the other side where the chains are with where that first down is or the line of scrimmage. So as he's running away from the side where their chains are, he's going to have to remember where that is or have a feeling of whether or not he's in territory where he can actually unload the football. A little confusion out there defensively.
Ball spotted at the 28, their own 28 for the Celtics as they scrimmage on this first down, sponsored by Classic Exteriors. And this is Joey Slates diving ahead to the 35-yard line, a pickup of 7 for the 5'9", 195-pound senior Joey Slates. I want to reference back to what we were talking about a moment ago when we were talking about the original 5 in the Ohio Capital Conference and the way this league has blown up size-wise. There are 4 schools now in the Olentangy District, and there are rumors that there are more to come in the Olentangy District. 34 schools overall in this league. We talk about all the changes as far as divisional alignment, things along those lines, but this is still one of the best athletic leagues in the state of Ohio, regardless of how many teams, how many divisions, as Slate scoots ahead for a first down sponsored here in this fourth quarter by Classic Exteriors, and that keeps the Celtic drive alive.
Well, that's a huge first down for this football team. They're just looking for little things to be able to build upon, and head coach Brett Glass is just trying to get some momentum going, get his defense a little bit of rest as well. He talked about them being gassed in the second quarter. I got a feeling that they were gassed at the end of the third quarter as well.
Picked up a half dozen out to the 41-yard line. The Classic Exteriors first down. We're 90 seconds into the fourth quarter. Little high snap that Peoples pulls down and sticks in the belly of the ball of Joey Slates and dances his way out right about the 43-yard line for a gain of 2.
Neo Thomas, number 7, one of the linebackers in there for Westerville South, coming in to make the play.
Very modest evening for Slates, who last year ran for 121 yards on the season.
Really, his biggest run came just a few plays ago. I mean, that best running play that Jerome's had all evening.
Celtics last year won their first 2 games, won this matchup with Westerville South, then knocked off Reynoldsburg, and then went into a massive tailspin, dropping 7 games in a row before winning their regular season finale at Hilliard Derby. Here's a give to Ethan Price, trying to get around the corner on the far side of the field, and scoots across the 45 out to the 46. He picked up 3 yards on that carry.
Again, a play like that goes as a pass reception, an attempted pass and a pass reception, just shovel pass ahead of time, and requires a lot of time out there for those wide receivers to hold their blocks, but big third down conversion now. They need to get to just across the 50-yard line.
We approach the 9-minute mark of quarter number 4. Here's Peoples to throw. He'll zip it, and it's caught by Ethan Price just across the midfield stripe, as Jeff Logan accurately pointed out. Good enough for a first down, sponsored by Classic Exteriors for this Dublin Jerome offense. And we have a shaken up Westerville South player after the pitch and catch. This might be one of our first cramps of the night.
It is the first cramp of the season. It's Isaac Patterson, and if you think of a guy that probably deserves it, he has rarely come off the field tonight.
7-7 is our score here with 9:08 to go in the game. Our Toyota Friday Night Rivals is tied at 7.
It's Toyota's national sales event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddle boarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or tubing with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all summer long.
Lease a dynamic new 24 Tacoma for $349 a month. Get a new 24 Tundra with 1.99 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash with 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Come in today. Ooh, like
Toyota. Let's go places.
7-7 with 9:08 to go in the game. Dublin Jerome, Westerville South. As the Wildcats and Celtics meet here in this one tonight. Series between the two. Westerville South leads at 7-4, but Jerome has won the last 2 meetings. The 30-15 gathering last year, but prior to that, the two schools did not see each other on a football field. Back to 2015 when Jerome won 52-14. Back to throw Peoples now. All kinds of time as he heaves it long downfield for Giantonio to get him again for a long one. Oh, right through his hands. Oh, my goodness. That was 6 waiting to happen. And Giantonio knows it. That ball went right through his hands.
Boy, Nolan Peoples put it up there. Pretty good coverage. Don't think the ball was tipped. It was not. Boy, that is going to be one that will haunt you, and nobody feels worse than that young man right there. He's already had one great catch this evening for a touchdown and looked like he had number 2. But how many times has Westerville South been caught looking inside and be able to get that receiver deep behind him? Problem with that is other coaches see it, that they play the rest of the season. They're going to get more and more of that.
2nd down and 10. Ball just inside Westerville South territory. This is Slates trying to push his way to the 40. The ball squirts free, but falling on it for the Celtics was Lucas Franks. The one thing, though, you mentioned Matty Giantonio certainly feeling bad about not hauling that pass in, but I think if you look at this offense right now, Jeff, Brett Glass and his staff are seeing some things that are going to work for them as the season rolls along, and getting the ball in that young man's hands is going to be a big part of it.
Yeah, another cramping situation again with Westerville South. It was interesting when you had a chance to interview Coach Eric Cowan. He said one of the things that we've always had a problem with is cramping early in the season. Well, guess what? It's still an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Kellyanne Stitz on the sidelines for us tonight. Kellyanne?
Guys, I wanted to take a moment to shine a spotlight on South's head coach, Eric Calland. And we talked about it earlier in the broadcast, and one thing that he's had to quickly learn as the new head coach is to be able to delegate responsibilities, because he's inherited new duties running the program on top of teaching a full schedule. He's the AP Psych teacher, along with running a program called the Hope Squad Leadership Program. It's a nationwide program, and of course, Westerville South has it. Calland helps run that program that focuses on suicide prevention and awareness and mental health. They have over 100 students involved in the program, and those students are elected by their peers as leaders. The class helps give them resources to help those who may be struggling with their mental health. It also teaches self-care methods to help improve mental health overall, and Calland has 6 of his players involved in this program.
Inside pass caught by Ethan Price and accelerates to the 40-yard line. Great story, Kellyanne, about Eric Calland, and it shows you that there's so much more than just football in Eric Calland's life, even though he is the first-year head coach, has played here, been an assistant coach here.
Nice touch on the football right here, just dropping it over the middle, little bubble screen, and I think this brings up a 4th and 1.5, and this is an absolute 4-down territory. You got to go for it here.
Under 8 to go in the game. Big part of this contest. Frank's in motion.
Looks like
Price,
they're trying to draw him off sides more than anything else, and there's the timeout by Dublin Jerome. Thought they'd give it a try, but I still believe this is 4-down territory for this football team. Even if you don't get it, you got to challenge your defense to go out there and get another stop. But
Luca Licata has a pretty good leg, but it doesn't have that good a leg right now. Timeout on the field again. The score is tied at 7. We showed you earlier the Dublin Jerome High School Marching Band in our Music Go Round Marching Band profile. Let's give you a look at what the Westerville South High School Marching Band did. This sneak peek brought to you by Music Go Round. Check out their locations at 2630 Bethel Road and inside the Stone Ridge Plaza in Gahanna. So again, we're awaiting the 4th down play call here by Dublin Jerome with 7:44 to go. Interesting play call. I think you were right. They were perhaps maybe trying to draw them offside. The offense will come back onto the field. If you're Brett Glass right now, what's your mindset on this play call?
Well, I think you got to throw the football now. They're heavy set here on the right-hand side. Oh, and it's a bad snap.
Past the hands of Slates. The ball still loose on the field, and Westerville South will come away with the football. The ball squirted past Joey Slates, and then the mad scramble was on, and the Wildcats will get the football. A big turn of events right there. That ball, the snap, went right past Joey Slates.
Looks like he was not prepared or ready for the football. Watch again here. The ball was snapped to his left, and it's no-go at this point in time, and all you're trying to do is manage the damage. I like the play call. You know, they had everybody loaded up on the right-hand side. Forget what it is that the Detroit Lions call it when they do that bunch, you know, where they're just trying to move everybody out. That's exactly what this football team was trying to do.
The big man, Nasir Battle, fell on that loose football. The 5'10", 275-pound senior chasing the pigskin down from behind and gives Westerville South the football. Wildcats will start this possession, and the defense says, nope. Matt Atwood was big on the play, also getting in that time, but that was Max Michaels who led the way inside that time for the Jerome defense. We've called his name a couple of times. Atwood had a chance through the gap, but then it was Michaels who ran over to make the big play right there as he brought down the Westerville South ball carrier, just trying to get to the outside that time, and no room whatsoever. Great job by Max Michaels.
Good job of grabbing him and not grabbing where the nameplate would be, because that is what they call for the horse collar tackle. No penalty on that play. Good job by Max Michaels.
Loss of 3 back to the 47-yard line. We approach the halfway mark of the 4th quarter. Andrews will hand the football off, and carrying across the 40 to the 39 is Ian Gordon.
Boy, his yards after contact are impressive, Marty. Got those shoulder pads low. Watch again. As the pressure comes on, he drops it. Look at that. Lower the shoulder, be able to be like a bowling ball going through there, and he was able to pick up 3 extra yards. Now 3rd and about 6.
Gordon, the 5'9", 185-pound sophomore, he and Elijah Jackson have tag-teamed that running back spot tonight for the Westerville South offense. Last year, they churned out 200 yards a game on the ground, did the Wildcats.
They're going to take time out. A lot of time getting a play down from the booth to the sidelines to the quarterback. That brings up one of the changes going on in college football. We're going to have speakers in the headsets yeah. For the quarterback, and they're going to be able to do what the NFL does, is have one of those players out there with communication from the sidelines as opposed to signaling. What's Connor Stallions going to do now if we don't signal?
You just can't let it go, can you?
Not a chance.
The Football Fever on ABC6 is the perfect play to get you ready for the Buckeye season opener against those Akron Zips. The new season starts with the Football Fever a week from Saturday, August the 31st at 11 a.m. on ABC6. Dave Holmes, Kellyanne Stitz, and the entire Football Fever crew will get you ready for the Buckeyes Akron Zips in that season opener. Timeout on the field sponsored by Aware Recovery Care. In-home addiction help is waiting for you at awarerecoverycare.com. 7-7, 5:55 to go in this one tonight. Both these teams back in action next week. Dublin Jerome will be home to play host to the Raiders of Reynoldsburg, while the Wildcats of Westerville South will play host to one of their Westerville friends, the Warhawks from Central, next week. South won last year in a thriller, 33-30. They are friends in the district when they play each other, aren't they?
No.
Okay.
Not a chance.
Okay. Just thought I'd check. Andrews on 3rd and 5 rolling, delivers the ball ahead, has a receiver open, but the ball goes off the hands of the intended receiver who was behind the defense, Hassan Kaba. Good job by the Celtics of at least getting somebody in the general area. And Andrews just unable to connect with Kaba, and that brings up a 4th down for Westerville South. Watch us play again here.
Well, pretty interesting. Quarterback does a pretty good job of delivering the ball. Evan Andrews, again, catchable balls, non-catchable balls tonight. A lot of people going up and trying to high point the football and having difficulty bringing it down. And this brings up a good question. 4th down territory on the 39-yard line for Westerville South? I think so.
Good look at the junior quarterback, Evan Andrews. Waiting for the play to be signaled in. 2 wides, the top of your screen, and that's where Andrews is rolling. He will set, he'll heave it long downfield for Jaleel Armstrong, but unable to connect. And on downs, the Celtics will get the football back with 5:44 to go in this game here tonight, as this 7-7 struggle will stay that way with Dublin Jerome getting the football back.
Interesting play call going back to basically the same play. Receivers down the right side trying to throw it up for grabs and see if you can come up with the play. They only needed 5 yards on the play. I think that's a good place where you use that drag pattern, Marty, that we've seen tonight, where you slip somebody in after the receivers have already cleared the zone. But Dublin Jerome will take over and has been given a second life here to be able to close this ball game out. 5:44 remaining. Ball game tied at 7.
Nolan Peoples leads the offense back onto the field. They'll send Ethan Price in motion, hand the football to Joey Slates, and he's greeted almost immediately by London Vickroy. The 6'4", 205-pound junior, second team OCC last year. 48 tackles and had 10 tackles for a loss, and he's got one right there here in 2024.
Look how quickly he is in the backfield. Just total domination coming right up the middle, slipped right inside the guard center gap, and was able to make the play. Miscommunication of that offensive line.
Jeff, you talked earlier about the frame of that young man. There's a lot of room for growth right there, isn't there?
It truly is.
2nd and 13, the play lost 3. They'll flood the far side of the field with wideouts, and Peoples is back to throw. Might have been a hold right there. Peoples will keep the football. Everybody on the Westerville South side of the stands where we are situated, you can just hear them all yelling, holding, holding. I've had a number of guys I've worked with, former offensive linemen, tell me you can call holding on every play.
That's true. I thought, yeah, he's got him by the jersey. All right.
That was Corbin Wilson, the 6'3", 260-pound senior.
It was only one fistful. I thought there were only 6 officials doing the game tonight, not 600. Oh, my goodness.
What's that line? Ref didn't see it. I didn't do it.
That's exactly.
Uh-huh.
All right. If anybody can connect, Nolan Peoples has
right.
been the automatic quarterback guy to get the touchdowns. He's got 3 receivers at the top, single receiver, bottom of your screen.
3rd and 11, and Peoples is straight back to throw. Flushed out of the pocket, still rolling. Sidearm flares it ahead. The pass is incomplete. Jack Kaczerski was the closest Celtic in the area. Joey Slates was in the general vicinity. So that'll bring up now a 4th down.
And a timeout. Officials timeout, it looks like. Yep, player down again.
Player down, back up field. So with 4:05 to go in the game, we remain tied at 7 while they have the injury timeout on the field here tonight. Again, the score, 7-7 here at Westerville South. No matter if you're waking up in Westerville or in Dublin or anywhere else in Central Ohio, the only way to wake up is with Good Day Columbus on ABC 6 and Fox 28. Join Kurt, Jessica, Katie, and Buck and discover why Good Day Columbus on ABC 6 and Fox 28 is Central Ohio's #1 morning show. Kurt does a great job on social media, always has pictures of his cats on social media, telling jokes and everything. And he's got so many followers. Kurt Ludlow and all the crew there.
Are you telling me he's an influencer?
I guess that's what that's called.
Is that what that is?
I don't know, but the cats, he has little jokes that he and supposedly the cats interact with. Not sure how that works, but nonetheless, it's a very popular place on X. You got to try it sometime, Jeff.
Well, I think I'll pass. Jamari Alston was the Wildcat that was taken off the field
Cats?
again.
Cats?
With cats. With a cramp.
Licata will punt the football away. Very high, but very short, and this will be a great punt for Westerville South as that ball very high but angled to the near side. Not a lot of distance on it, and the Wildcats are going to have very good field position when we come back with the football. With 4:04 to go in a game that's tied at 7, it's Toyota Friday Night Rivals.
Again, fans, tonight's game was televised on the CW. The CW Columbus would like to thank the faculty and students of both Dublin Jerome High School and Westerville South. Best of luck for this football season.
.404 left to play. Still tied at 7. As Westerville South and Dublin Jerome tangle in this season opener. The Wildcats will take advantage of a poor punt by Jerome, and they will start this drive at the halfway point of the field at the 50-yard line. This first down sponsored by Classic Exteriors. Handoff to the near side as Ian Gordon hesitates, accelerates, and picks up to the 45-yard line. Well, we talked earlier about this offense that Jerome has, how you can see as the season goes on, they're going to, I think, develop some weapons. I think the same can be said for this Westerville South offense, especially the way Ian Gordon runs the football. They could be a threat, run and pass. Andrews, play fake, being chased, rolls, dumps it ahead, and the pass is incomplete as he tried to get it to the relief valve on offense that time. Just drifting back to the middle that time was Manny Norwood.
Well, you got to be really careful here. He's just, losing ground, throws that ball late over the middle. A lot of those times those balls get intercepted. So, again, big third down here.
Third and 5.
They're packed in there. Looks like a run play.
At the Jerome 45, and the football goes into the hands of Gordon, and he is going to be down a couple of yards, maybe a yard and a half shy of the first down. As the clock spins towards the 3-minute mark. So at the 42 now.
Ian Gordon has been a bulldog tonight. That's 20 carries tonight for 83 yards. And yards after contact, got to be at least 40 of those.
Out of the pistol to Gordon. Picks up the first down with that little adjustment. Breaks out of a tackle attempt, and there he goes to the 25 and is brought down. That little shift to the right, he hesitated for just a moment, Jeff, and accelerated through the hole, and a massive first down.
Now, this crowd is used to having a great running back. Nasser, we talked about last year, went over 1,500 yards rushing and 18 touchdowns for Westerville South. Ian Gordon is the future of this football program, and a great job of covering up the ball. Watch from the end zone here. You're the safety, and all of a sudden you see this coming at you. This is like a loose train, and a great job of putting your arms around that football and protecting it. 2 minutes and 28 seconds remaining. Plenty of time for Westerville South.
Picked up a dozen to the 23.
Boy, total confusion, and there's another timeout. New offensive staff. This is their first game as well, trying to communicate some of this down there on the field, and you can see the frustration of the coaches right there.
That was one of the things that Eric Callen talked about with this new offense. New terminology, formations. Felt that they executed well in the scrimmages, as Ian Gordon has surpassed the century mark in carrying the football tonight.
With that big run there, 21 carries for 102 yards. He has been special this evening. When they've needed yards, he has been able to come up with it.
This timeout on the field brought to you by Aware Recovery Care. In-home addiction help is waiting for you at awarerecoverycare.com. Jeff, what's the big difference between in a scrimmage where you have a lot of success offensively, but then when it comes to the regular season game where sometimes you struggle in situations like that?
Well, I think what happens is you get a team like Dublin, Jerome. It's almost like a 7-on-7 drill every time that they go into a scrimmage and everything. When it gets tough and you got to run the football, and they haven't done a lot of that maybe in their scrimmages, they haven't a lot of that contact, that becomes something new for them. They have not been able to run the ball effectively all night long.
Handoff goes inside again, and just staying along the hash marks, and the pile being pushed ahead, and the ball carrier still rumbling ahead and getting inside the 10 for a first down. As a great job of running that time as Westerville South gets into the red zone. That's the first time tonight that that's Neo Thomas in on offense, getting the football that time. And watch this, just bullying his way ahead. I'll just carry a lot of folks with me and just keep right on running. And they're in the red zone tonight for Westerville South.
Tyler Kellmeyer was pulling the ball carrier.
The Buckeye Basement Solutions red zone for this offense, and a big gain there with now 95 seconds left in the game. Andrews hands off. This is Gordon trying to spin, goes towards the goal line and dives towards the end zone, does not get in. Neo Thomas set this up with that big run, and Ian Gordon gets them close as we roll towards the minute mark. Watch Gordon here.
Really impressive. Watch the spin move here. Puts a little move on him. Whoop! Inside. And a touchdown saving tackle made at the end. And right now, Dublin Jerome hoping only to maybe move this thing into overtime.
Matthew Atwood saved the touchdown right there with 1:20 left. Well, let's go back to the run, though, by Neo Thomas, Jeff, and a guy who hadn't carried the ball all night long, fresh legs, able to carry people with him.
Well, he's a big, strong kid, and they've used a couple of different backs over there. Elijah Jackson's had a carry, but Neo Thomas, a 5'9", 195-pound senior linebacker, just basically give him the ball and say, listen, you stay upright, keep pushing, keep those legs churning, and he carried him another 10 or 12 yards.
And a good recognition by the Westerville South coaching staff to know, hey, let's get this guy in the game right now. This is the perfect time to use him.
Ball security here, the most important thing. Ball at the 1-yard line. Again, quarterback in shotgun formation. So the quote-unquote quarterback sneak, not an option.
The formation is strong left. And that's the way they will run. Gordon trying to get to the outside, being grabbed and thrown down. He hit the pylon, touchdown, Westerville South. Hanging on for dear life was Charlie Culp, but Ian Gordon just kept right on churning and carried him into the end zone. And with 1:13 left in the game, Westerville South on the Ramos Roofing touchdown. For a free estimate on your roof, call or text 614-761-ROOF. 7663. The Wildcats take the lead 13-7.
Yeah, they've only scored 2 touchdowns tonight, and number 10 has both of them, and a convincing job here of finding a way and a will to get the ball into the end zone. What a future this young man has, just a sophomore running back. Again, he's a backup to Nasir Phillips a year ago. Had 350 yards on 45 carries last year. The kick is up, and it is good. And with 1:13 remaining, Marty, It is Westerville South 14, Dublin Jerome 7.
Ian Gordon scored 4 touchdowns all of last season. He has half that total in tonight's season opener. And a big one right there with just 1:13 to go in the game. And that set up by the poor punt, which allowed Westerville South to start at the midfield stripe.
Yeah, made a lot of mistakes tonight. Again, a punt that looked a little bit like a Marty Bannister 9-iron that was shanked hard to the right. Think about that when you're on the golf course tomorrow morning, my friend.
I'll take offense to that because you haven't seen me play. My 9-iron might be pretty good.
No, it's not.
No, I know it's not. I know it's not. Believe me, I know it's not.
No, but that, and then you have the botched play on 4th down, and that's a difference maker in the game. And I think those are the things that Brett Glass is going to go back and talk to his team about, being one play away, one option away, one mistake away.
There's your scoring summary. 5 plays, 50 yards, 2 minutes, 51 seconds. The scoring summary brought to you by Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board of Franklin County. That all being said, with where we're at right now, we've seen Nolan Peoples with the ability to get the ball downfield big time. So this game far from over right now with 1:13 left.
I tell you, the most nervous guy in the press box right now is the defensive backs coach for Westerville South, because he cannot communicate enough to his football staff or his football team down there to keep all of those white jerseys in front of you. And they have been beaten 3 or 4 occasions tonight. They're a drop away or 2 from being down maybe 2 scores in this game.
The late touchdown run by Ian Gordon gives Westerville South the lead, 14-7. But Jerome will get the football back. Look at a slow bounding kick. Will be fielded by one of the upbacks. This is Giantonio reversing his field now, coming to the near side. Gets a great block now, looking for a little running room, and gets to the 35-yard line. A lot of east-west running there by Giantonio, when he could have used a little more north-south running, but nonetheless, not bad field position. Could have been a lot worse. The ball's at the 37-yard line with 1:04 to go. The one thing that was about that, he ate up 9 seconds of clock time with that.
That was a good point. It did run up some time on it, but again, you've got the Nolan Peoples factor, a guy that threw 5 touchdown passes a year ago as a sophomore against Hilliard Bradley. He's had 1 tonight. He had 1 that was dropped tonight that should have been a touchdown as well. 3 receivers top, 1 to the bottom.
First down and 10 as Peoples goes straight back to throw now. Flushed out of the pocket, rolling, delivers long over the middle now. Leaping grab by Jack Kaczerski. The ball's knocked out of his hands at the midfield stripe. A big hit applied on Kaczerski by Devin Eby, the hockey player, right there with a huge check at the midfield stripe.
Boy, a very awkward behind the head try and catch there, and looked like Kaczerski. Very awkward the way that he landed and caught the ball here, and you can see the contact there. And again, that ball, he really hung him out to dry. That's a very difficult thing. Kaczerski, not much of an opportunity to catch that ball.
So second down and 10 upcoming. 6'1", 185-pound senior Devin Eby. They'll put a man in motion, and Peoples again is back to throw. Again, trying to reverse his field now as he's being chased. People still rolling with the football, looking for someone to throw the ball to. Finally shovels the ball ahead, middle of the field. This is Slates. Runs out of a tackle attempt, 45-yard line to the midfield stripe. It's a first down, sponsored by Classic Exteriors for Dublin Jerome with 44 seconds left. The Celtics have 1 timeout left to use.
And they're going to get a break here because the clock's going to stop due to 2 players that are down for Westerville South, and it looks like both of them are cramping situations. And that is a free timeout for Dublin Jerome. There it is, Marty. The orb.
There it is.
As has become known. And
first look at the orb this year.
Who is responsible for maintenance of the orb over that 9-month period of time where we haven't given one out?
That's a state secret. That's a state secret.
That's a big responsibility. Big, big, big responsibility.
I think it's one of those situations where we don't want that to be broadcast or put out to the public.
Have you ever touched the orb? Seriously now,
come on. I'm not answering that question. Those records are permanently sealed.
I have never touched the orb, nor will I.
Oh, my goodness. First and 10, back to throw is Peoples with 41 seconds left. Steps up into the pocket, heaves it long downfield. Oh, he was trying to get Giantonio, who again had run behind a defensive back and was open.
I'm not so sure the ball wasn't tipped on that one, but my goodness, what a job defensively because it looked like Matty Giantonio was open.
This is David Guyabang. Watch this.
There it is.
Oh, my goodness.
That is a terrific defensive play.
Reached up with that left hand and just swatted that looked to be a surefire touchdown pass out of the air. Watch this.
May have been underthrown just a little bit, but I can tell you what, that is a spectacular defensive play by David Guyabang. I mean, that is outstanding.
Peoples again back to throw now. Is hit in the backfield. Avoids the tackle, reverses field, sets and just heaves this one towards the far side. And the ball is out of bounds. Peoples is down. Whistles came in after the play. Now, intentional grounding here?
He was hit as he threw the football.
Officials are going to sort this one out. Again, the referee tonight is Paul Balthaser, Rick Beater, Zach Green, Jordan Nipper, Robert Buscemi, and Lucas Osley are the officials tonight in this game. Again, this year 6 officials in high school football. Officials are debating this right now. Peoples went down in a heap as well, too, after that.
The player's helmet came off during the play. We killed the play when the helmet came off. The player must leave the field for one play.
Boy, that's huge.
Third down from where the helmet came off.
That's your quarterback, has to go off the field.
That is huge right there.
It's a dead ball when that helmet comes off. The play is over. If you're the ball carrier, if you have possession of the ball or still in his hands, the helmet came off.
Now the one change we learned last year, if there's a personal foul on the play, the player can stay in the game, but there was no personal foul there. The helmet popped off.
All right, well, as a backup quarterback a year ago, Nolan Peoples came in and threw 5 touchdowns. Who's going to be the quarterback that comes in as a backup this year to throw a prolific touchdown here late in the game?
29 seconds left. The Celtics need to get to the Westerville South 40 for a first down. In this situation, Jeff Logan, if you're Brett Glass and his coaching staff, are you just trying to do something to make the next play more manageable, just whatever you can get here?
You won't ever take a knee because you don't want the clock to run. So you do a quick out, throw it out of bounds.
You're out of timeouts.
Stop the clock.
Right now.
You have no timeouts.
Right.
So there's no stopping the clock if you take a knee. Checking into the game is looks like Remy Allhouse is going in. He's a sophomore quarterback.
Good sized young man will be brought on to try to either pick up a first down or get the Celtics close. And Outhouse will go back to throw, and the pass is incomplete, almost picked off.
Yep. All right.
On the far side, Devin Eby was on coverage for Westerville South. So now it comes down to this.
Mission completed.
4th and 20. Nolan Peoples can come back into the game right now. And here he comes. 24 seconds left. Eric Calland trying to win the season opener in his first game as a high school head coach. Prepped under a pretty good guy during his early years coaching, a guy by the name of Dave Carroll, who is now coaching at Fairbanks and has been at a number of locations. Back to throw is Peoples now. Protection starts to break down. Peoples is on the run with the football. Will zip it ahead long downfield. The pass is intercepted, and that's your ball game right there. Pass is taken away as sliding down after intercepting the pass. Jamari Alston and the Westerville South Wildcats are going to win their season opener. Penalty flag comes sailing in afterwards. There'll be another sideline warning against the Wildcats as they had a number of guys run onto the field. A lot of big plays in this game tonight, but for Westerville South, Jeff Logan, one young man's plays really stood out tonight. Ian Gordon getting into the end zone for what proved to be the 2 scores tonight for the Wildcats.
Well, and he was special at the end of that first half, and he was really special here in the 4th quarter. He was the difference maker in the football game. 7-7 tie at this point. And what's he do? He takes it right into the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. Isaac Patterson, another great night for himself as well. But this is one really good football player.
111 yards, 23 carries of the football, and 2 touchdowns, including what will be the game winner in this one tonight in our season opener, as Westerville South will go into victory formation as the Wildcats will knock off the Celtics of Dublin Jerome, and Eric Calland in his first game as a high school head coach is victorious. the Westerville South Wildcats. Opportunistic, taking advantage of a short punt that gave them the ball at the midfield stripe with around 3.5 minutes left, and they punched the ball into the end zone and win this one here tonight again by the final of 14-7 over the Celtics of Dublin Jerome. I think both these football teams are going to win a number of games this year. We saw a little bit in the first half how, hey, it's game number one. We're going to see some things that I'm sure both coaching staffs will look at and go, we got to get better in those areas. But Westerville South with the victory, lots to build on, I think, for both programs.
Yeah, really. They've got talent. They've got skilled players. It's just a matter of, bringing everything together. And again, we talked about the forgettable seasons they had a year ago. Again, Coach Brett Glass is going to have to rebuild his program a little bit after this loss. They had some mistakes. Quite frankly, that cost them the game, but Westerville South took advantage of those mistakes and capitalized.
The celebration and the presentation of the orb when we come back. 14-7, Westerville South beats Dublin Jerome in our Toyota Friday Night Rivals.
It's Toyota's national sales event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddleboarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or tubing with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all summer long.
Lease a dynamic new 24 Tacoma for $349 a month. Get a new 24 Tundra with 1.99 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash with 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Come in today. Ooh, like.
Toyota, let's go places.
Westerville South wins the season opener tonight 14-7 as the Wildcats knock off the Dublin Jerome Celtics in the season opener, avenging last year's season opening loss to the Celtics, and presenting head coach Eric Callen with his first win as a high school head football coach. Wildcats surrounding our Kellyanne Stitz.
Yeah, I'm joined by a really excited Wildcats team here, but first, Coach Callahan, this is your first win as the head coach of your alma mater. This got to feel extra special for you tonight.
It does, but hats off to all these guys, man. Hey, I'm organizing. They're doing all the work. These guys are doing all the work. We needed everybody. We're cramping left and right. Everybody's contributing. Heck of a game, man. Heck of a game. It's these guys. It's all about them and our coaches.
The way that your guys battled through adversity, big defensive plays down the stretch, the 5 guys out front with a huge effort blocking for Ian Gordon. What did you learn about your squad tonight?
Well, I know we were struggling a little bit on offense, and, man, we started figuring things out. We knew we had to get in, and, man, our offense finished it. It wasn't pretty. I know we got a lot to work on, but when it was time, they came, and they took care of business, for sure.
What does a win like tonight give you confidence moving forward against Central next week?
Wait, I got to shout out our defense, man. Shout out to the defense! Hey, all game they held up, and guys, it's so important. We'll worry about. We are
excited. Shout out to the dogs on defense. You'll need them next week. But congratulations, victory shout outs. And here, Coach, I'm going to present you with the first orb of your career.
Oh, Kellyanne.
MVP right there.
That's the first time I think that's happened since we've been working together.
For as long as we've given orbs out, and that was pre-Marty Bannister, that is an all-time first. And what a competitor she is. She didn't back down. She got right back into the interview.
Stayed right in the fight.
That a girl, Kelly.
Nice job, Kellyanne. Nice job. Westerville South wins it tonight over Dublin Jerome by the final of 14-7 in our season opener here this evening. And again, congratulations to the Wildcats of head coach Eric Callen. There are your final numbers tonight. The Westerville South ground game, 2 touchdowns and 135 yards total in this one tonight. 203 yards to 196. Great work by Jason Van Hoos with our stats tonight. That big number, though, in the turnover category, huge in this game. And one play that really doesn't count as a turnover, Jeff Logan, was that punt.
It's the same as a turnover because it ended up being about a 10-yard punt and gives them the ball in perfect field position to make the difference in this football game. Plenty of mistakes that the Celtics are going to want to fix. Wildcats being able to build on taking advantage and capitalizing here in their home opener.
I still think there are a lot of things for Brett Glass to like about his
no
football
question
team.
about it.
Yeah, I think they're going to cause a problem
good
in
football
the Capital Division of the OCC. Westerville South also a lot to build on as well, too. in this season opener here this evening. Again, the final 14-7, Westerville South defeats Dublin Jerome. That's a wrap for this edition of Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College. We'll be back with you next Friday night at 7 o'clock from Upper Arlington High School. Looking forward to seeing the Battle of the Bears, the Golden Bears, and the Berlin Bears in our second week of high school football coverage. On behalf of Jeff Logan, Kellyanne Stitz, Jason Van Hoos for Stats, Dean Marini, and our entire CW Columbus broadcast crew, great job tonight, guys and gals. We appreciate all your efforts. I'm Marty Banners. And once again, our final score tonight here at Westerville South, the Wildcats beat Dublin Jerome 14-7. So long, everyone, from Westerville South High School.
Tonight's broadcast of Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Columbus State Community College, is sponsored by these businesses.
Let me know when you. Yep. Okay.
Doesn't hold this thing?
Coach Callan and I just experienced the victory showers, so we look a little wet, but all for a good cause because, Coach Callan, you received your first victory. You're in your first victory as the head coach of your alma mater. Tonight has to feel extra special for you.
No, absolutely. And again, I just can't get past how proud I am of our players. God, they went through adversity. We're dropping left and right. Everybody needed to contribute. So, I mean, hats off to them. We have a lot of things we need to fix. I mean, we're struggling a bit on offense. Our defense played a heck of a game. But yeah, no, it's pretty special. Yeah.
You mentioned battling through adversity, battling through cramping, but some huge defensive plays down the stretch. The guys in the front with their effort to block for Ian Gordon for 2 touchdowns. What did you learn about your squad tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they have all the grit that they need. I mean, we there's a lot of mistakes, but man, when it came time, we took care of business, and we took advantage of our opportunities. I know they have some mishaps that I know they'd like to have back. Jerome did, but hey, we capitalized, and that's how high school football goes.
The way that your squad battled back tonight, what kind of confidence does that give you moving forward into week 2 against your rival, Central?
Yeah, for sure. We've been so focused on this one, that it's all about 1-0, and we'll enjoy it. But we'll dive in here. It's our game plan this next week. I mean, it's a scrimmage and a game now. We've been down and we fought back. So I'd like to stop being down and start off a little quicker. But hey, we'll take what we can get.
And we're going to enjoy this one tonight, and I'm joined with your family here. How proud are you guys of your dad for his victory tonight?
Oh, my God. It's incredible. He's been working so hard here for the past few years. Alma mater. It's just great to see him come out as a head coach and get his first win, man.
Very well said. Oh, enjoy the special moment tonight, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks. Okay.